That would be a sitting United States Congresswoman saying chick with a... Okay. On Steve Bannon's lovely podcast. Okay.
War Room.
All right. So Republicans already hard at work on, the most important issue to America, and that is whether one single person can use a certain bathroom at the Capitol where they work. You know what I realized? This is they need to redo the help, but for trans people, don't you think? Mm-hmm. This is, this is basically what Mike Johnson said. You have a perfectly good bathroom, private bathroom. You can't use the bathroom that real people use. I mean, is this partisan or is it the meanest thing ever?
It's petty.
It's not the meanest.
It's petty.
It's very
most
petty.
bully. Nancy Mace is speaking of a chick she actually is a chick who is a...
Didn't they have to make special restroom accommodations for her when she went to the Citadel?
Yes.
Probably.
Because she was like one of the first women.
She was the first woman.
She was the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, so they had to make special bathroom accommodations for her.
And I'm sorry, by the way, of course I have sympathy for anyone that's been sexually assaulted, but she plays the rape card every time.
Yeah.
She did it yesterday. Yeah. I was raped. I'm a victim. You just voted for a rapist for president, and also you're getting ready for attorney general, and apparently also secretary of defense. So shut up. Really? You feel scared because you're a victim, really, of Sarah McBride?
And when there's all these bathroom laws that are starting to get passed, where you have to be the gender that you were assigned.
Right.
How many trans men will be walking into ladies' rooms?
Yeah. It's once again something that's not a problem.
Right.
The Republicans are... This is the first thing... This is exactly what we knew they were going to do. They're not going to do anything about your prices or housing or anything else. Yes, Christopher?
Also, I don't go into ladies' rooms all that often.
No?
But
You're certainly welcome.
Don't they consist of all stalls?
All stalls.
Yes.
Nobody sees anybody.
So who's looking at someone else's genitals in a ladies' room?
Nobody is.
I'm telling you, they have to, whoever did the help, they have to redo it for trans people, because it's literally like... And Mike Johnson's like, I'm not concerned. And then he flip-flops in record time.
Why is Nancy Mace looking over the top of a stall at someone else's genitals?
They're just bullies. It's just mean. Who thinks that isn't mean? So that one person who's new in Congress, if she's running from a vote or whatever, she doesn't have a convenient bathroom. She has to go back to wherever her private office is. I mean, you have a perfectly good bathroom in there, or you could use the other ones. It's like...
I'm just saying Nancy Mace seems to be the pervert here.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Can I
Same
tell
with
you?
Madge.
Wow, segregation makes Republicans super hot.
Marjorie Taylor Greene's the pervert here, too.
She is.
Right. Thank you. This is Johnson yesterday?
Yesterday.
Which one? I'm sorry, which one?
One,
Sorry.
and then going to two.
Here we go.
I'm not going to get into this. We welcome all new members with open arms who are elected representatives of the people. I believe it's a command that we treat all persons with dignity and respect. We will, and I'm not going to engage in silly debates about this.
Oh, Speaker God Warrior. Oh, we welcome them with open arms and also a bird, a single
like
middle
that,
finger,
And a
open
kick in the
arms,
crotch.
and a single finger. Right, exactly.
Let me be unequivocally clear. A man is a man, and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman.
Aren't they sweet?
This is, like we were saying about the sports thing. There's like one girl in one state where they made seriously, it's to make a law to discriminate against one single person. 0.000 whatever 1% of our population. It's just mean. Anyone recognizes that it's just mean. Okay. I mean, not that I'm shocked. This is, I guess, what they ran on. This is how they won those culture wars, y'all. We gotta stop being less woke on the left. That's our problem. Yep. You gotta start being meaner to people that are different than you if you want to be a real American. Oh, good God. Speaking of which, wow. Where's that joke bomb for Morning Joe's ratings? Yikes. I printed, I don't know. I sent it.
Wow,
Not
that's
sure.
loud.
Pardon?
That was loud. That hurt my ears.
Yeah. Oh, pardon me. Well,
I can hear mice fart.
that was from one night at Yuck Yucks in the late 80s.
Just the one?
just the one.
It's a really bad night.
Really bad life.
Yes, in an otherwise really bad
Life?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. 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 So, yeah, I mean, their ratings continue to plummet. That's what I was saying. Beyond any of the other reasons, BS or not, what a dumb decision programming was. You think on the liberal network, that's what
And announcing
people were
it.
not
I mean,
going to react to that?
I guess they assumed Donald was going to say something, so they wanted to get ahead of him.
He only said something because they went down there and groveled, so then he could further humiliate them, which is what he does every single time.
Yep.
So now they look even more pathetic. Oh my God! So this is the latest reporting that they were petrified if Matt Gaetz becomes Attorney General, he will use a baseless conspiracy theory to investigate Scarborough. This is this intern thing from 2001. An intern died at his office. An autopsy found that she had passed out, hit her head, and she was found to have an undiagnosed heart ailment. Scarborough was not there at the time. So, and this is based on what his Trump spokesperson, Alyssa Farah Griffin, said to the January 6th committee.
Right.
That Gaetz was carrying a folder filled with, quote, conspiracy theories about Joe Scarborough murdering his intern, which he then presented to Trump, who later tweeted about it. This is a little preview into Attorney General Rapey McForehead's.
Yep.
By the way, can I just say what kind of the bathroom thing? They're all defending these rapists, and they're saying they're concerned about women being targeted in bathrooms. Really? Okay, sorry. I just backtracked a little. Yes, so the reporting, I don't know where this is, in Mediaite, that's what this was about. It has nothing to do with ratings or Comcast. Well, that's good, because their ratings are, wow. It's all about fear of retribution and investigation. They believe that by meeting with Trump, they could assuage. Oh my God, were they literally born yesterday? They thought they could assuage his potential desire for reckless payback. Because yes, that's worked a lot and thus nuke any possibility of having to endure the headlines of a Gaetz witch hunt or legal torture. I mean, dear God. I don't know I don't care. We're all scared. A lot of us are scared after the election, but oh my God, I don't even know what to say. I have the actual ratings, but wow, that is really
it was a
bloodbath.
It was shocking.
It was only Monday.
Yeah.
I know, but I mean, I completely predicted that, obviously.
But the thing is, it's dragging the rest of the day down on MSNBC, big time.
Yeah. By the way, can I just say thank whoever the fine American is at Democratic Underground? It was very sweet. Thank you. But you know what? Courage, as I said yesterday, like cowardice is contagious and so is courage. And I'm not uniquely courageous. There's a lot of people in this fight with us. And they got a lot more to lose that are, really being brave, which is why we selected Brave.
Yeah.
There you go.
See? There.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm just saying, I think what people are reacting to is, I'm sorry, Joe and Mika with their millions of dollars are being cowards, and it's just, you can't tell someone 3 days ago Trump is Hitler, which he is, and then, turn on a dime and expect, they're being mocked by everyone from Megyn Kelly to Nikki Haley to
Rosie
Fox
O'Donnell,
News.
everybody.
Yeah. Anyway, just wanted to read a little, just because I needed this. I personally needed this, because y'all are lifting me up. This was entitled Stephanie Miller Showing Rare Courage in American Media right now.
Aww.
And again, this should not be rare. Whoever wrote this, thank you. And thanks for all the it was a nice comment thread, Chris.
I
we
know.
probably don't read the threads. It was all pretty nice.
Okay.
If I were not for 3 hours of sanity from 8 to 11 Central each morning, I do not know how I'd be handling this election and its results. For me, it's on AM radio. They listen out of Chicago, WCPT. The only radio station to which I now listen since the steadfast beacon of reason and hope through this, I see this impending disaster for this country, has been the Stephanie Miller Show. Thank you. Stephanie stands to lose as much as anyone on media on the left. Wait, what do you know that I don't know?
What?
Why do I stand to
Wait a
lose?
minute.
Wait, what have you heard? People sometimes look at me in traffic like I'm an idiot because I'm fist pumping or applauding some pithy, insulting thing they've said about Trump. There have been mornings I've been laughing so hard I had to pull over and get out of traffic because I literally couldn't see or hold my composure long enough to drive. Who'd have ever thought that a political reality could be so terrifying and yet so funny at the same time? She is one of the few media personalities I trust to tell me the truth. She hasn't backed down. She shared her same fears and feelings we all had after the election results were announced, in the same sense of being lost, not knowing what to do, wondering where we're headed. But she remains steadfast in her convictions, her approach, the manner in which she delivers her message, the truth she tells, and nothing has changed in spite of her clear awareness of any and all possibilities of Trump's administration settles in. And it goes on. And anyway, how many times do I say, Chris, this is not just about me. We had Dean Obadala on yesterday, who's one of those truth warriors out there.
Yep.
A lot of people are tweeting they're only getting their news from comedians, which tells you everything you need to know about how the mainstream media has failed us. So it's not just me. It's the Kimmels and Colberts and everybody here on Serious Progress. Thom Hartmann sent us this, which was very sweet. He just
He's looking out for you, Steph.
yeah, well, and
He's like your big
I'm
brother.
so proud to be in this fight with him all
Yeah.
these years. And so it's everybody in this progressive universe, do everything you can until liberals get it and invest in infrastructure. The best we can do is support everybody. All of the people we have on our regulars, our semi-regulars,
Free Speech TV.
people that are being brave and are not,
Yeah.
kissing the ring and backing down. Because
Buy our stuff.
Let's just all be scared together. We're scared.
Buy our stuff.
Yes, buy our stuff.
Subscribe to the Patreon, which,
Yes.
we're going to be recording a new show today.
Yes, the Patreon is filthy. That's where you really get your id out, what you're really thinking without the FCC.
That's right. And all of that stuff that you can find is at stephaniemiller.com. How to subscribe to the Patreon, how to subscribe to the Stephcast.
There you go.
All of that.
There
And
it is.
even if you can't afford to subscribe to the Stephcast, subscribe to the free Happy Hour podcast.
Downloads help us. Support the sponsors on the Happy Hour
Absolutely.
podcast. Downloads or 5-star reviews help us.
Yes.
And again, all the people in our universe here.
Mm-hmm.
I listened. Bob Seska's first show with Cliff Schechter was fantastic. The Bob Seska show is a must-have.
That's right.
For democracy. I don't know. We have to. Do you have that no, don't speak? You may have to use that a lot. Jody may have to physically put her hand over my mouth as this, because you know what? It's only Jody a couple weeks ago, it's election, so he's not even close to being in office yet. The Atlantic headline: since the election, Trump has moved swiftly to do the things he said he would do, and yet many people, especially his own supporters, seem stunned and dismayed.
No, don't speak.
That's because they're...
Don't speak. Don't speak. No. Silence. Silence. Don't speak.
Listen to me very carefully. Put the candle back.
Too late to put the Trump candle back now.
Well, that candle's going to be burning for 4 more years.
Real quick, Brian, our friend Rude Pundit, who I am shocked to... You know what I'm shocked to find? He is very rude.
Well,
It's in the name.
He retweeted Brian Allen, who said people are breaking down on TikTok because they just realized Obamacare is the Affordable Care Act. This is what happens with trying to vote just to hurt people you don't like. We played the one guy that was like, oh, they're going to take away the liberals' Obamacare. Haha, but I still have my Affordable Care Act. No. This is what happens.
Yep.
The heartbreaking part, so many have pre-existing conditions. One man admitted he voted for Trump without knowing it was Obamacare and allowed his mother with stage 4 cancer to get treatment. This is what happens when misinformation wins out over facts. Trumpers are currently facing a very rude awakening, said the tweet. And Rude Pundit, who, I'm just saying he's rude. He said, I am telling you, the real story of the 2024 presidential is how stupid many Americans are, just mouth-breathing morons who gobbled up MAGA lies like they were kibble from Jesus's ass.
oh my God.
That is so rude. I'm not saying I endorse that just because I read it. I'm just saying, so rude. I did not see that coming. Okay. See what I did there?
Uh-huh.
I have expensive eggs on my face. We have Carl Frisch, Dr. Doom, Malcolm Nance, and Dana Goldberg on a packed show 20 minutes after the hour. Hi, good morning, Bob.
Hi, good morning, Stephanie. I have an announcement to make.
Yes.
I just stepped off the plane, ran back here to sit down to talk with you. Kimberly Johnson and I were just down in Mar-a-Lago meeting with Donald Trump to talk about finding common ground. And you know what?
Especially Kimberly.
I have another announcement to make. Guess what I did to Donald Trump?
What?
I stink palmed him.
Did you?
I put my hand in my butt and then
All
shook
right.
his hand.
Good for
and,
you.
Yeah.
Good for you. Good boy.
You're so adult.
You know, we gotta. I mean, it's for national service. I mean, I'm trying to do my part for democracy. Just
Yes.
trying to make them sick.
Oh, Nick Fuentes just reaching out a hand to all us fat, ugly, screechy bitches. What else? Masculine
Oh.
something?
Yeah, we don't like masculine men.
He called you fat, Stephanie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now it's a problem. Tom's going to have a thing or two to say about
Wow,
that.
has he seen any of the ladies that were at LA Sexy Liberal? Because, okay. Wow. Including,
Well, you know what? When
let's
you
start
just
with
played that-
Kimberly Johnson.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
that Nick Fuentes clip you just played, the number of people who heard Nick Fuentes when you just played that clip,
There's more people than-
listeners than he's had in like 5 years. Because I don't know anyone. I mean, who listens to Nick Fuentes? All I know is that he pops up on social media occasionally. I don't see him anywhere on the podcast platforms or YouTube or anything like
Lord.
that. He's just sort of this troll who lives in his mom's basement, and every once in a while a video pops up, just a random clip of something that no one else ever watches.
Yeah.
Strange.
You know,
that he keeps going.
you retweeted Ricky, who said, a Trump supporter I've known for years told me yesterday that I take politics too personally. You know what? I do. My Venezuelan in-laws' safety, my 3 daughters' reproductive freedoms, school shootings, etc., all very personal. Yes.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
It's
That's what
very-
I was saying during the break that I've aged about 10 years in the last 14 days, and I think it's a lot of that has to do with the fact that I think we all have this thing
like 2
called
weeks ago.
empathy. You know,
He's not even president yet. This is only, remember how young we were at LA Sexy Liberal 2.5
I
weeks
know,
ago?
I know. We're just little tiny babies. We're just like Muppet babies. We all
They're all so happy.
so young and carefree, fancy free.
No more sexy liberals before a presidential election. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Okay,
But you
go
know,
ahead, Bob.
it's the empathy. I mean, we have empathy for people. We don't want to see people get hurt. We don't want to see people get steamrolled. We don't want to see ourselves get steamrolled in all of this. So there's so many different dimensions to what we're facing down here, which is the broader geopolitical dimension of everything, the domestic policy dimension, plus our own personal safety. Like, how is this? I mean, everyone's having conversations right now. Okay, what are we going to do? Do you got your passport? I got my passport.
Yeah.
Are you ready to roll? Do you have a go bag? We all have go bags now. We're
I
like
don't.
Mike Ehrmantraut
too
from Breaking
disorganized.
Bad.
I
We've
do.
got a rental car parked at a airport parking lot in a garage, and we've got, just a duffel bag filled with cash and
I am
just
really
ready to bug out.
You know what? I got to go do some stuff. You guys talk to Bob.
Okay.
Realize I don't have anything. Water,
I have a go bag.
Water, batteries. I got nothing.
So even if an earthquake
Yeah.
strikes,
I don't
you're
have
not
that
ready
either.
for it?
I keep
Yeah.
rating it, and then I'm like, oh, there's nothing in there now.
No. You need an earthquake bag, which is a go bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone I talk to is just like, "What are you preparing? Are you ready? Are you ready to get out?" I said, "Well, no. No.
I'm not
come on."
going anywhere.
Yeah.
I love.
I got
to
no
your-
place to go. That's my thing.
Yeah, we are all Richard Gere now, an officer and
That's
a
right,
gentleman. We're
yeah.
all spitting on
We're-
each.
we're,
We're all
I mean,
spitting on each
ultimately.
other.
I ain't gonna quit.
The ma-
I got nowhere else to go.
Just drool
The only
coming-
place that's welcoming Americans right now. I saw an announcement by the mayor of Copenhagen in Denmark, up there in Norland. He's inviting everyone, Americans, to
Fantastic.
come stay in Copenhagen.
No, I'm going to stay here and irritate as many people as I possibly can.
There's a city in Italy that is inviting Americans to live there. They're actually paying Americans to come over and
I have
live.
a bad
Oh wow,
Italian
See,
memory from college, as you recall from yesterday's show.
Well,
I can get Italian citizenship because because of
for
my
you.
grandparents.
There
To
you
your
go.
point, Bob, Theo tweeted, if being woke, which I get called often, means I have empathy, consideration, respect for all people, regardless of their culture, skin color, gender, or sexuality, as long as they're not actively choosing to be garbage humans, then consider me happily woke.
Stephanie Miller.
Talking and you didn't think that I would hear it. People hear you talking like that, getting everybody fired up. Cause ain't no holler back girl, ain't no holler back girl.
Yes. Hello, I shall be your holler back girl for this morning. It is the Stephanie Miller Show.
Did you just say holler back?
Yes,
Holla.
you did.
Holla. Holla.
You said holler.
Word. Holla. Okay, I'll stop.
Thank you.
Gosh, Keith Olbermann has some things to say about Joe and Mika. I'm not saying he may have a little tiny bit of an axe to grind with MSNBC, but however, he is correct. He said the Morning Joe self-defenestration has not hit the pavement yet. Ratings down yesterday too. Holy cow! So he tweeted the Monday ratings. He said Scarborough's on the Rita Cosby MSNBC flight path. From Oliver Darcy's status newsletter in where are we in total audience. Scarborough's Tuesday program averaged just 683,000 viewers. Yikes. Compared to 1.044 million it had averaged all year long, according to Nielsen. In the coveted 25-54 demographic, the show saw an even worse drop. It averaged 78,000 demo viewers down Tuesday, down 40% from the year's average of 129. Wow. Yeah. Oh, by the way, here's some programming suggestions from one of our liberal helpers. Mary says, greetings. Waiting for your show, watching Carol Burnett and Tim Conway. Much better than Morning Joe. A hell of a lot funnier, too. I have at least 5 taped. That's a good idea. Watch Jody's mom to get ready for us.
There's a whole Carol Burnett channel on a lot of these streaming services.
Right?
There is.
I know. I had to edit all of those shows.
I remember that period. You were very busy. Also, you don't really want to hang out with me anyway. But anyway, who said when I tuned in and listened to Stephanie's program the morning after the election, I cried, not because I was disappointed in the results, though I cried about that earlier, but because I was listening to some truly genuine people who thought like I thought, who were expressing the same feelings in public on the air, and I was feeling it that very moment. I've been tuned in every morning since then. I work in an environment that would be pretty hostile and uncomfortable quickly if I had her show on the radio in my office. I have a hearing device that I can connect to the live stream from my phone and listen that way, so no one else even knows. No wonder it's on Democratic Underground. Oh, I'm sorry. That was Democratic Underground, whoever wrote that.
Yeah,
who, by the way, has been with us for like 20 years since we started this show. They've always been so kind. But, yeah, isn't that great? We're like the Underground Railroad already. Trump's not even in office yet. People are like, I can't let anyone hear me. Oh, where's that cartoon, speaking of with me and Keith Olbermann, about during the Bush years?
That one?
No, I'll find it. One of our friends did a cartoon about people during the Bush administration getting caught listening to me or Olbermann, pardon me, and getting arrested. It's funny now.
It is, because it's happening.
I go cough up a lung. Carl Frisch.
They voted for their pocketbooks, and frankly, I don't blame them. You know who I do blame? I blame the billionaires who have rigged our country against working people and spent the last 4 decades squeezing every penny they could out of people. I blame the politicians, including the incoming administration, who have abandoned workers and who have done nothing while the rich get richer and everyone else gets screwed.
Thank you, Jim McGovern. Okay, found it. I found it, everybody.
All right.
It's, our friend Wiley, the brilliant cartoonist.
Yeah.
Remember he made this in, oh, God, what year was this? Because now that we have to go back underground because everyone's so scared.
1842 is when that was.
It was not. It was during Bush W years.
Oh, it seems like 1842.
Daddy, is it true the firemen can spy on us now? Yes, Katie, but I don't think it's anything to worry about. Ding dong. Hello, Mr. Kyle. We've, hold on. You've won a free safety inspection from the fire department. Oh, I see you read the New York Times. Yeah, so. It might be a DGM, Daddy. A what? Discouraged with government material. Don't tell them that you... Hold on, there's a reflection on this. Aww. Don't tell them that you TiVo Keith Olbermann or listen to Stephanie Miller on the radio. Why? What's wrong with... We've got a code 3 here. We've got a code 3. Call for backup. That's funny. That's funny. Because if you got caught... TiVo, that's how old this is. TiVo and Keith Olbermann are listening to me. Then you would get, imprisoned. That's why it's funny because it's relevant again. Everything old is new again. Okay.
Carl.
Carl, let's talk to our fancy Fairfax County School Board friend, shall we? CarlFrisch.com. Good morning, Carl Frisch. Hi.
Good morning. Of all the introductions I've ever received, that is certainly one of them. Everything old is new again.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, boy. The point is you've been doing politics long enough to know that that's all we're trying to do, in terms of trying to calm people, as scared as a lot of us are, is that we've been here before. We've lost in landslides, people, backlash back and forth. Sometimes voters' choices don't make much sense. We're talking about all these instant regrets being reported everywhere that people just were not paying attention, didn't realize what they voted for. I mean, but it is sort of shocking. Places that just endorsed Trump 3 weeks ago, like the New York Post, going, what? Huh? Matt Gaetz and and Tulsi Gabbard? No. It's like, what did you think he was going to do? Right?
They thought after watching his first term and what's happened since then, that surely he'll surround himself with some grown-ups. I don't think that they've been paying attention to exactly what they've been talking about. But you're right. We have been here before. I think it's good that we're now talking about how this is not a landslide. Mm-hmm. This is not a landslide, right? And the only way we're going to get through this is by ensuring that we're ready for the fight ahead and that we have each other's backs. And so I think it's important that we keep our eye on the ball here, which is holding this administration accountable for the next 2 years so that we can get a new Congress in there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and, nobody's better aware of that than you, is that, we're going to have to take a second to brush ourselves off, but it comes up before you know it, doesn't it, that in 2 years. And I'm just telling you, if the regrets are as instant as we're seeing on TV and anecdotally and social media of people going, oh, my God, I didn't realize I had Obamacare. Oh, my God. I mean, we'll talk to Dr. Doom, by the way, about how frightening it is, this whole anti-vax thing. And by the way, that's connected to another thing. Guess what else is causing egg prices? Bird flu. Mm-hmm. It's like all of the issues that, obviously were important during this election, right?
Yeah. And, the elections do have consequences. And we don't need people to admit that they were wrong. We just need them to vote differently. Yeah. So give them the space to admit they were wrong by voting differently in the next election, or showing up in the next election when they realize how important it was for them to show up and they may not have. The congressional majority is going to be closer than it was before this election. Senate's still going to be close. So we've got to make sure that the powers of government that are available to us function the way they're supposed to function.
And meanwhile, again, we're being told, Democrats lost because of, woke, because of culture wars, whatever. And the first thing they do, nothing to do with anything that's going to help any American. It's keeping one person out of the bathroom, like the bullies that they are. I mean, by the way, give me Jim McGovern on that real quick?
My friends on the other side, they want to blame trans people. Guess what? Trans people aren't the ones raising people's grocery prices.
Thank you.
Big corporations are. They want to blame immigrants. And here's the deal. Immigrants aren't the ones denying health insurance claims, Mr. Speaker. It's the billion-dollar insurance companies that do that on a daily basis. And they want to blame woke this and woke that. What's woke about thinking special interests should not be able to buy tax breaks?
Yeah. By the way, Frank Conniff, who's so funny, but I think the absurdity of all this, Carl, he said trans bathrooms on Capitol Hill are banned because Republican legislators don't want to be distracted from the important task of making everyone safer by enabling a statutory rapist and a sex trafficker to become the #1 law enforcement official in the country. I mean, the hypocrisy, that I don't know what else you want to call it, it's just stunning, isn't it?
I just want to call it republicanism.
Yeah.
That's what I want to call it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're left with. That is the new definition. And I have the utmost respect for Sarah McBride. I've known her for a very, very, very long time. And she's going to be a tremendous lawmaker. And she's handling this with all the grace that I expect her to handle it with. And I know it can't be easy.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, like I was saying, at the top of the show, Carl, the Help movie just came to me. I just like, wow, this is exactly what discrimination and segregation looks like. You know, them going, well, you have your own perfectly good bathroom, and Mike Johnson literally said that.
Yeah.
Or there's other, gender neutral bathrooms, but you can't use the ones that real people use. I mean, it is just. But you're right. She was above it. I mean, she just said, I'm not here to fight about bathrooms. I'm here to do the work for the people of Delaware. Right.
Right. And she will, and she'll be effective at it just like she was in the state legislature in Delaware. And I think this is what we're going to be in for the next for the next 4 years with Trump and the next 2 years of this Republican majority. It's going to be a lot of gimmicks. It's going to be a lot of gotcha kind of moments, and very little of substance to deliver for people.
Yeah,
very little. And it's going to be on us to remind people every single day when they put out their next thing that they want us to focus on, that they're not focused on them. They're not focused on bringing grocery prices down or making sure that people can keep their homes or that they can afford health care. They're focused on all the wrong things.
Yeah. By the way, Michael tweeted, my sister in California bought 2 dozen eggs at Costco yesterday for $4. It was the hate. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just, I guess, hopefully we're done with all the circular firing squad, but it's, like I was saying, I mean, it isn't the actual economy. It was people's perception of the economy. And again, not just the right-wing media, but the mainstream media. So focused on Biden's old, bad debate. Like, it drowned everything else out.
Yeah, I do think, though, I think that the Biden message on the economy early on was not the message for him to be carrying. I think it was part of the message for him to be carrying. And when Kamala Harris became the nominee, she picked up the message that we should have been carrying all along. It just wasn't long enough of that message to sink in. Especially when you're competing with a media who's obsessed with those other issues that you mentioned. You have to make sure that you're pointed in the right direction 100% of the time in order for something to sink in. And with the media running a narrative a day about things that voters aren't even talking about, it's already a tough job.
Yeah. I keep saying, using the term perfect storm, but, our friend John Pavlovitz said there's no messaging strategy that can overcome deeply held prejudice and rising ignorance. And these two factors are the only explanation for a sociopath like Donald Trump even being the nominee, let alone getting 76 million votes. And he, by the way, one of the other factors, he said, once again, Jill Stein and her cult of spiteful stupidity have decimated this nation. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, here we go, right? Where, God help the Palestinian people now. I mean, it's just there's so many issues that are tragedies in this whole disaster.
No, and we're going to need each other these next 4 years because they're going to come after everything that we care about. And some things that we're not even thinking about right now, they're going to go after. And so we need to hold tight. We need to know that it's going to be a tough 4 years, but that we can get through it if we work together. That's the only way we're going to get through it.
Yeah.
Is working together and making sure that we're holding them accountable and holding each other up.
Yeah. What was I going to... Oh, Sometimes I have a hard time wrapping my head around the absurdity of where we're at. But Adam tweeted, Matt Gaetz asked Trump for a pardon for sex trafficking a child. He didn't get that pardon, so he came back and asked to be Attorney General. What's your over-under right now on whether he is going to be... I have a hard time even saying it. Attorney General Matt Gaetz.
I have such trouble picturing him being confirmed. But that does not mean that he won't be confirmed.
Yeah. Right. We're in a whole different world now.
I think if people were able to vote their conscience, he wouldn't get anywhere near it.
Right.
But
by the way, Carl, somebody made that point that they were like, oh, they did an FU to Trump. They picked Thune instead of Rick Scott.
Right.
But that was a secret vote. This again tells you everything you need to know about the cowardice of the Republican Party today on secret votes. Right. But that's the thing, is like, who knows what's going to happen, with Trump, because they're saying Trump is doubling and tripling down on this.
Well, and, this is one of the things that we know about fascist leaders, right? They give you extreme choices and force you to make it, which lowers the bar for every other choice that they're going to ask you to make.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is don't let him distract from all the other awful picks, right? Because they're all awful.
Right. One after another, it's been nuts. There are a lot of Republican politicians and, politically adjacent people right now wondering, like, I really should have gone after getting that Fox News television show when I had an opportunity. If only I'd known that I could ascend to be, a cabinet secretary.
Yeah.
Just by having an hour every Saturday on Fox.
Maybe even Joe and Mika are thinking there'll be lots of openings on Fox News, so they can just,
Yeah.
Oh boy!
I
think they crap that bad. I don't think there's any cleaning that up.
And by the way, if he does get confirmed, guess what the first case up will be? Against Joe Scarborough, just because that is Trump's whole thing, right. Is humiliation and payback, right?
Yes, I mean, what he knows about Gaetz is that not only will Gaetz do everything he can to protect himself, but he'll do everything to protect the guy who gave him the ability to protect himself.
Yeah. Yeah, not to mention, by the way, we just, with all the, rape and sex trafficking, we forget I thought the pardon was also for overthrowing the government. They all thought, gee, there'd be accountability for this someday, right? I mean, Josh Hawley, a noted insurrectionist and fisting aficionado, said he's going to vote for all of Trump's nominees.
Yep.
Right? And he said, because I believe a president deserves their nominees. Guess how many of Biden's he voted for? None.
0.
He voted against all 15 of Biden's cabinet, right? I mean, the hypocrisy is off the charts. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to make the same point. This is what we can come to expect. Certainly we don't think that Josh Hawley's got a backbone to stand up. But, fingers crossed for a couple others.
Yeah, I know. Well, we shall see. Carl, best of luck to you there on the school board. You're doing the Lord's work.
We're certainly trying, and we'll get through this.
Yeah. Just now
That was not with a question mark. I did not say we'll get through this.
Right.
All right.
That was a declarative statement.
Sure. Love you. Mwah. Goodbye.
Thanks,
this
Carl.
portion of the show brought to you by my... Hi, Dean.
Hello.
Now we're ready.
Was that Stephen Miller? Is
Yes.
that Stephen Miller you just played?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm glad he's finally against occupation. Maybe that'll help my family out in the West Bank. That's kind of nice. Republicans actually coming out against occupation. I actually feel pretty good about this now. My whole view of Trump has changed. This guy's great.
Can I just say, Dean, I gave you a shout out the other day, like these heartbreaking headlines, like Muslims in Michigan are like, oh, we got played by Trump, or I didn't know, wait, what? I was like, I gave you a shout out and said, Dean, who is part Palestinian, you could not have been more, full-throated on the need to support Kamala Harris and what a disaster Trump would be for Palestinians. And here we are in record-breaking, heartbreaking time, right? Mike Huckabee, ambassador to Israel, who doesn't even believe Palestinians exist.
I'm not even here. I don't know who you're talking to right now.
I don't even see anybody. I'm
not here. I'm an apparition. I just came out of a Shakespearean play. So, look, it's true. Look, but our community is diverse. There were Muslims, according to some post-election polls, it looks like Vice President Harris maybe got 20 or 30% in the Arab community there in some of the big towns. And then Trump got a little more and Stein got some. But at the end of the day, the estimate was about 20,000 votes switched in the Arab Muslim community to Trump from Biden. It's still Vice President Harris lost the state by 80,000. You know, I wish we were more powerful of a community that actually could have made a huge difference.
Yeah.
We didn't, but it still is a lot of pain in my community right now.
And
but going
Dean,
forward, Trump's awful.
Jody
Trump's
and I
awful.
were saying white women. White women that voted, for reproductive rights, and also for the guy that took away their reproductive rights, the rapist. We were talking about Latinos that have already, been interviewed going, oh, well, he's not going to deport our family, is he? Because, Latinos that have undocumented family here are saying, like, they voted for him because what? Oh, they don't mean us. I mean, the disinformation, Dean, that's why, like, what you do and John Fugel saying and hopefully all of us is so important because
I thought you said I did disinformation. I do it with a capital D.
No.
Disinformation, it rhymes with Dean, stands with D, or Pool or P or something like that. I'm not sure. It's Music Man. I'm doing it. I'm on the road.
No, listen, I am so happy to be in this fight with you. And I what do you call it? Link to your piece. Joe Scarborough just surrendered to Trump, but we never, ever will. Thank you for being in this fight with me. I was all over on Twitter. You were just like you said, we are less than 3 weeks after the election that Scarborough told us pitted fascism versus democracy, yet he has surrendered to Trump. This is the type of capitulation others engaged in, thinking it would keep the fascists from coming for them. And then, you just did the headline. You said he was Hitler. Jon Stewart mocks Mika Brzezinski, asking why they shouldn't meet with Trump. You said, given morning, Joe and Mika now sucking up to Trump. I wanted to reshare my clip. I saw it. You were fantastic when you were on Joy Reid, and you said,
that was Friday. That was before the thing on Monday.
Yes, you said, we will never surrender to Trump. We will take the fight to him. We will not meet him halfway on his fascism. We know who he is. More importantly, we know who we are. That's the important thing. It didn't change who we are. What happened with the election results, right?
Right. That's the thing. I mean, look, I was on Joy's show Friday, and she asked me, what are your listeners saying? I said, the listeners are saying, they want Democrats to be fighters.
Thank you.
They don't want any talk of compromise. And I said, I line up perfectly with my listeners. We're taking the fight to Trump. We're not meeting him halfway. There's no benefit of the doubt. There's no, let's see, maybe he's going to change. He's not. We know who he is. We know who we are. And that's the important part. We're not going to compromise our values to this guy. That's why what Mika and Joe did, especially Joe, I thought it was the onion. That's why I wrote my article. I actually thought, I was off on Monday from work. I took a day off to relax. And I saw it. I'm like, this is not real. And I'm like, it's real. So on my off day, I still wrote that article. I'm like, I have to write about this. The idea of telling us this election pits fascism versus democracy.
Yeah.
He literally, a week before election, day, mocked those who said he was being over the top, mocking them, going, you're going to say in 3 months, Joe, you were right. We should have listened. Here we are 3 weeks later. He flies to Mar-a-Lago, kisses the ring, and says he's doing it like Neville Chamberlain in a way, peace for our time. I'm doing it to share insights. No, you're doing this for your own agenda, whatever that might be. I don't know what it is.
And in record time, Trump sends a tweet mocking them. Nikki Haley, Fox News, mocking them for how pathetic they are. For the life of me, business-wise, Dean, I don't see how they thought this was going to help them get their liberal audience back, or this is what liberals want.
Hello.
Now we're ready.
Was that Stephen Miller? Is
Yes.
that Stephen Miller you just played?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God.
I'm glad he's finally against occupation. Maybe that'll help my family out in the West Bank. That's kind of nice. Republicans actually coming out against occupation. I actually feel pretty good about this now. My whole view of Trump has changed. This guy's great.
I think Frank Faguzzi, our FBI friend, has been hanging around us too much. He tweeted Trump's pick for NATO ambassador previously sold toilets for well-endowed men. No word if Arnold Palmer was a client. That's Frank making a D-joke. Frank made a D-joke. I'm going to take credit for that. I'm going to take credit. Yeah. Okay. Whitaker, big ball, toilet guy. Okay. Karen in Chicago. Hello.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Hi. Okay. Oh, my God. Okay. As usual, I fully intend on crying during hour 3 with Dana.
Yes.
Yesterday was Trans Day of Remembrance. And, this is the thing. These monsters in the Republican Party put a target on the backs of trans people as a part of their hate campaign to get people to vote to lose their health care.
Yep.
Veterans voted to lose their benefits. Gen X white women voted to sentence their daughters to death because pregnancy will now be a life-threatening condition nationwide. So this isn't about Democratic messaging. I mean, Kamala ran on freedom.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now? The party that claimed to be all about freedom, to be able to do what they want to do, carry whatever weapons they want. So now freedom is a bad thing.
And Karen, somebody was saying, well, people they didn't care about joy when they're mad about the price of, eggs or whatever. It's, they're like, joy doesn't pay my bill. Well, hate's not going to lower your bills either. Right?
No. It sure isn't. Until, again, it's like like you guys said, the mainstream media has messed this up. It's not about economic insecurity. It's not about the cost of eggs or the economy, because the economy was reported. No Fortune 500 company endorsed Trump. Everybody was talking about how he was going to be a national security threat. They don't care about this country. They just want to be able to hate who they want to hate, and that is trans people, black people,
right,
brown people, women. And I mean, if you don't think we are second-class citizens, women in this country are going to be sentenced to being barefoot and pregnant, and that affects your economic autonomy as well. All you white women
what's the message
against your own best interest?
What's the message to little girls that from the president pretty much on down to his cabinet are rapists? Yeah. I mean, you don't think that's going to embolden this whole, what do we call it, Jody? Bro culture? That, that's fine. It's fine. You can get away with it. I mean, it's. By the way, thank you, Ronald. He tweeted nothing from Caitlyn Jenner today on the great Capitol bathroom crisis. I mean, they have no consistent core principles of any kind. Let's go to Joe in Chicago real quick. Hey, Joe.
Yes. Hi. Good morning.
Hi.
I just wanted to make a comment about our media. It's just a utter failure for this country, and that the only story right now is Trump should not be allowed back in office. The Republicans must stop this. These unqualified appointments show that he is going to destroy the country.
Yes, well, they're going to help him do that, sadly. Okay, 58 minutes after the hour, Dr. Doom and Malcolm
Stephanie Miller.
You say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. What you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave.
I have said that there's some positives to vaccinations. I've also questioned vaccines multiple times, and I think they should be questioned. For instance, why is America highest in autism? But what is causing that? Is it our diet, or is it some of the stuff we're putting in our children's system? It used to be almost not even heard of. Then it went from 1 to 10,000, then to 1 to 5,000, 1 to 2,000. In some races right now, 1 out of every 36 kids by the age of 3 have developed some form of autism. What is causing that? And if it is the vaccines, there's nothing wrong with actually taking a hard look and finding is that's what's causing it. Is it something else that we're putting in our systems?
Yes.
We do know.
It was something that was previously undiagnosed. We're diagnosing it better.
Yes.
We had a kid in my class. We just, his parents just called him hyperactive.
Right.
He had autism.
Yeah.
That was Senator Mark Wayne, Jim Bob, John Boy.
Carrington.
What?
Colby Carrington.
John Wayne Gacy McMullen.
Right.
Yeah, that's that guy.
Yep.
Okay. I hate to have to play that stupidity right before I talk to,
If I'm going to get bad news, I want it from him because he's very handsome. Dr. Irwin Redletter joins us now. MSNBC medical expert. Dr. Irwin Redletter.
Here he became Dr. Doom.
Dr. Irwin Redletter is the founding director of the National Center for Disaster Preparedness and senior research scholar.
Dr. Doom.
Oh, good morning, Dr. Doom.
Really? Is it?
Is it? I think of you as the lifeguard in the sea of stupidity that we are.
Well, look, I'm here in New York City. It's a little drizzly out, but today's a new day. I'm looking up right now.
Doc, I don't even know where to start these days with this stuff. Someone like you and your friend Dr. Fauci, and just have spent your entire life dealing in fact and science and whatever. It is just, you commented on RFK Jr. plus Dr. Oz. POTUS gets to nominate and appoint dozens of senior health officials. We all need to keep up the fight. I'm too damn old to give up now. Thank God, Dr. But you must be just exhausted on an hourly basis with this. You pointed out Oz was thrown off the medical facility by his colleagues at Columbia for hawking snake oil BS on his TV show, including bogus cures for obesity, wacky, unscientific, and dangerous treatments for a variety of ailments, and bringing psychics on to tell viewers how to communicate with the dead. Yeah, I had forgotten that part. Robert Reich said Oz had to pay $5.25 million to settle a class action suit for promoting phony weight loss cures. He is a con man. No wonder Trump likes him. It is beyond terrifying on a medical basis, isn't it?
Well, it is, and by the way, they're not finished with medical appointments. There's a couple of dozen high-level positions in the government that get appointed by the president. And I think we're going to end up with a team of absolute crazy clowns running our healthcare system. And by the way, Stephanie, I should say that there is plenty to be fixed about our healthcare system. It is a wacky system. It should have been fixed decades ago. But you can't bring in a clown show to try to address these serious problems. These guys are not serious. They're really snake oil salesmen, and we're going to bring a level of incredibility to our healthcare system that's going to make us the mockery target of the world. I mean,
Dr. Oz is a quack. That's basically what
he's a total quack.
The medical term is. I
mean,
because you said now's the time to awaken the full power of America's legitimate medical organizations to oppose this dangerously inappropriate appointment. I think you were talking about Bobby Kennedy in that case. But Doc, isn't that the problem? They've built this whole, I don't even know what it's called, not movement, but just that eschews any kind of medical science experts. Like they don't care what every major medical organization is going to say. They want,
Stephanie, this is also a problem. We have many powerful medical organizations. The American Medical Association, every single medical specialty has their own society. There's many, many medical schools and nursing schools, etc. Why there hasn't been a public revolt from these institutions is a shock to me. And I think it's just really frightening that the legitimate medical organizations have nothing to say and about these quackadoodle appointments that are being made by Donald Trump. And, you have like on the other issues, you have Matt Gaetz, for example, who probably won't make it through a Senate confirmation if that has to happen. But the same thing should happen.
He
with
may
Bobby
make them do
and
recess.
Oz.
He may make them do recess appointments. I'm not even sure there's going to be hearings. I think we're in a brave new world, Doc.
Right. And then we're in a whole other zone of the American political system and American society, really.
Yeah.
If the Senate agrees to doing what Trump wants, which is the ability to make recess appointments, I don't really have the appropriate family-oriented language to tell you how messed up that is. It
speaking
is
of messed,
inconceivable.
Speaking of messed up, I honestly, I feel embarrassed to have to talk to a renowned doctor like you about this kind of lunacy. But Bobby Kennedy, I don't mean to be judgmental. He's, I think, just deeply mentally ill, mentally unwell. It's not even about politics. This article, these are all of the things he said previously. He has voiced his support for conspiracy theories claiming the government intentionally caused the COVID-19 pandemic. So they've unearthed all these video clips. But he always denies that he said things, and then they produce the clips, which I think is another sign of him just being delusional. So he's blamed antidepressants for mass shootings, pushed conspiratorial nonsense about chemtrails, claimed that COVID-19 could have been ethnically targeted to attack Caucasians and black people and spare Chinese and Jewish people. He's questioned whether HIV causes AIDS, accusing scientists of suppressing the truth so they could profit from AZT, the drug to treat AIDS. He claimed that Wi-Fi does all kinds of bad things, including causing cancer and leaky brain, says the guy with the brainworm. Okay.
He would have the brainworm.
Well, this is something, I've told you that before, that my brother's a psychiatrist in Boston, a very good one affiliated with Harvard, but I ask him periodically. So Bobby Kennedy shows up in an emergency room for some sort of illness or injury, and he starts talking to the ER doctor. At what point would the ER doctor call for a psych consult, psychiatric consult? And Neil thinks, like immediately, if he started talking about these things that you've just recounted, he would be eligible to be evaluated by a psychiatrist. And it is just absolutely true. Mehmet Oz is a whole different other thing. He's just a snake oil salesman who got a gig on television. He's very popular, and he's abandoned any sense of science or actually, educating his audience about real things. It's extraordinary.
If we do have confirmation hearings, do you not think Exhibit A with Bobby Kennedy should be Samoa? In 2019, there was a measles outbreak in the wake of Kennedy visiting the island and meeting with anti-vaccine activists. I think it's in the 80-something people died.
Yes.
I mean, if you want to peek into what the mass, large-scale, just carnage could be here in America, if this happens, right?
Yeah, this is a problem. You have a guy who's literally anti-science, who's trying to act as if he knows the science, and he just doesn't. He cites studies that associate the development of autism with childhood vaccines, and it's not true. It's all debunked.
Yeah.
But if you didn't know that, you're just listening to him. Oh, wow, says he's got scientific evidence.
Yeah.
He absolutely does not.
Yeah.
Look, but Stephanie, who is their boss?
Yeah,
Who is their
exactly.
boss?
Exactly. It does get exhausting. They're like, oh my God, are we just a country of crazy conspiracy theorists? So he has talked about COVID-19 being a plandemic. That's the conspiracy
that's
theorist.
adorable.
who insists the government deliberately caused COVID to accomplish authoritarian goals. Many people argue that this pandemic was a plandemic and it was planned from the outset. It's part of a sinister scheme, said Kennedy. I can't tell you the answer. I don't have enough evidence. Wow. This is like how we got Joe Rogan, right? I don't know. I'm just a dumb guy. I don't know, but I'm just saying this is what I think. It's like, okay, a lot of it feels very planned to me. I don't know. I'll tell you this. If you create these mechanisms of control, they become weapons of obedience for authoritarian regimes, no matter how beneficial or innocent the people who created them. He went on to compare efforts to combat COVID to the Nazis testing vaccines on gypsies and Jews, calling the COVID a pharmaceutical-driven biosecurity agenda that will enslave the entire human race and plunge us into this dystopian nightmare. So this is even crazier than the lab leak thing. This means that, as the Bulwark writes, we actively are using infectious disease as a means of expanding power. So, but by the way, isn't the hole in that theory that so he means the Trump administration? Because that was the government in power when this happened. Right. So the Trump administration deliberately. Okay.
Everything is so crazy about all of this, and he's found a group of doctors who are going to support all the craziness you could possibly imagine. And like I said, he's not finished. He's still going to appoint a surgeon general. Mm-hmm. He's still going to appoint many other positions, senior positions, in health and human services, which is where Bobby Kennedy is going to be secretary. And we're going to have a complete downgrading of the credibility of our health institutions.
Yeah.
You know, it was the one haven where we could depend on actual scientists and people who believe in evidence, where you could pretty much be assured that the science coming out of the NIH was not only legitimate, but world-class evidence. And that agency is going to be gutted. The true scientists are going to be fired. And who knows who's going to lead this critical global health research entity.
So
we're in for some real trouble here.
Let me draw a line here. So the other two things I'd forgotten is that he also believed September 11th and the anthrax letters were secret government plots as well. But here's where we're like, this is not even new. So did you see this? Robert Redfield, the director of the CDC under Trump, has said this past week he believes there's a real possibility the birthplace of COVID was a lab in North Carolina. I mean, this was the former head of the CDC under Trump. He said he did not have definite proof, because they never do.
Right.
But he strongly believed the virus was engineered as part of a biodefense program. Mm-hmm. And the interviewer said, what was the U.S.'s role in that? He said, well, I think it was substantial. He was part of the Trump administration. Is he admitting they bioengineered it?
He just has a spidey sense. That's what it is. I have a spidey sense that it's from North Carolina.
Yeah, right. They said some have said they're concerned it was actually developed here, and China was framed something. And Redfield said, "Well, I don't know if they were framed, but I think there's a real possibility the virus's birthplace was Chapel Hill specifically." Mm-hmm.
Oh, we were just there,
right? Doc, how do we get back from Crazy Town? I mean, this guy.
Well, here's the other point that I think people should be aware of, that we do have these midterms coming up.
Yeah.
In 2 years, and the campaigning will start in a year from now. And Democrats and sane Republicans need to take control of what's the outcome of those midterms. Because we can accomplish a lot. A third of the Senate is up for re-election, and all of the House of Representatives. And there's an opportunity there, and it's going to start manifesting itself really before we know. And that's one of the things that sort of kept me from, jumping off the George Washington Bridge here.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I'm just not doing it. But you understand, this is like, we have an opportunity. It's coming up fast. Yeah. The local elections will matter.
Yeah.
And then we can change the whole nature of Congress. And if we did that, we'll have built-in control systems that will manage the insanity coming out of this administration.
Let me just say, if a lot of the reporting we've been seeing is true, Doc, the find out portion of the around and find out of this election is coming remarkably fast. So, here's to that.
Yeah.
All right. Love you. Stay off that bridge. mister. We love you. We'll see you next week.
Looking forward. Bye, guys.
Bye.
All right, 20 minutes up. Do you understand what I'm asking one of the most renowned doctors in the world about a brainworm guy saying that Wi-Fi causes leaky brain? This is how stupid this entire world has been reduced
Yes.
to. I'm the queen stupid. Okay, 21 minutes. Hola, Carlos.
Hola. I was just figuring out what pillow I was going to take on our scooter van down to Mar-a-Lago to beg leniency. I have a Speed Racer pillow, and I also have an Iron Giant pillow, and I'm not sure which one to take.
I loved your thread or whatever it was. You said Donald Trump isn't for everyone. Just for the people whose takeaway from watching It's a Wonderful Life was that George Bailey was a loser and Mr. Potter was the good guy.
Yep.
It's true. We're all going to be living in Potterville now.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Merry Christmas, liberals in jail.
Oh boy!
And again, yeah, this is to me.
Every
it's like
time a
these people
rapist
think,
gets appointed, another angel coughs up blood.
Yeah, another reference for you is that everybody thinks that the Grinch, just because he came to Christmas dinner and sliced the roast beef, is still a nice guy. No, the Grinch is still the Grinch. Trump's heart did not grow 3 sizes that day. His revenge
He was
did.
just hungry.
The Grinch didn't hate Christmas. He just hated people.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah.
He hated people.
That's a year-long thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Year-round. Yeah.
Why are they not wearing patches on their ears?
You retweeted Andrew, who said, "Congratulations, everyone. New Brunswick measles outbreak spreads to 44 people, mostly unvaccinated children."
Yeah.
And now we have, who's the other latest guy Grampy saw on the TV? Dr. Oz.
Yes.
Who, you remember he said, if we lose 2 to 3% of school kids.
It's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Just brush your teeth with raw milk from the Amish.
What is pasteurization has gone out of vogue now as well?
Yes.
Is that what's
Yeah.
happening? Yeah. And I was saying that taking fluoride out of the water helps you speak deedly better and helps it helps the vittles go in quicker, right?
Get that whistle and Sepper's on. Sepper's on.
Vittles is ready.
Sepper's on. Vittles is ready.
Hey, little boy, got a treat made
Yeah,
of
somebody said-
popsicles.
You don't have to worry about vaccinations as long as your kids are vaccinated, but that's not the point. If more kids get sick at school, then it's a problem on the student body, on the curriculum, on teachers. Teachers could get sick. The scarcity of vaccines will become a problem.
Yeah.
Just God, follow the science.
Yeah. I gotta find the nickname for Bobby Jr. Something. It was something brainworm whale saw or something. I don't know. It's just every day gets more and more ridiculous. Yeah. Yes. It's just every day gets more ridiculous. This is why when anyone does anything that approaches journalism, I'm very happy.
I know.
Because did we just talk yesterday? Is it Oklahoma? They're literally, I believe they're 48th for
48th
education.
in
I think they're 50th in testing.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
they want to put Bibles in the school because that'll...
Yep.
Trump Bibles.
Trump Bibles.
Trump Bibles,
Yes.
correct.
Yeah.
Pamela Brown of CNN doing some bull.
The question, where is your authority specifically coming from? As you know, thousands of people, including parents who signed a petition to impeach you with more than 14,000 signatures at last check, say this is government overreach and you're taking control away from local parents, local school boards and parents over their kids. What do you say to that, and where is your authority coming from to enforce this prayer video to be played in schools?
You know, I appreciate you pushing that left-wing narrative here, but here's the reality.
It's
The
not a left-wing
Constitution...
narrative. I'm literally talking about a petition that parents have signed that's gotten more than 14,000 signatures that have raised this issue.
It's pretty clear on religious liberty. The Constitution's crystal clear on religious liberty.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, exactly.
It is.
First of all, the Constitution is not crystal clear on that. It doesn't have God in it. There is this establishment clause in the First Amendment, which the Supreme Court has routinely said it requires the separation of church and state and public schools. There are many cases that hold on, I'm speaking. There are many cases where the Supreme Court has routinely ruled on that. You went after woke teachers and the radical left in your announcement for attacking religious liberty, but your critics are saying that by requiring Bibles in every classroom and requiring this prayer video, you're trying to impose your religion on students in violation of the Establishment Clause. They say the Constitution, scholars say the Constitution is crystal clear on freedom of religion, not enforcing one religion, your religion, on students.
Boy, that's one gift Kamala Harris gave women everywhere. I'm speaking. Thank you.
Oh, man, he had the Dr. Strangelove his backhander in that interview. I want to hit her. I just want to swing at her.
Yes, and then she pointed out they're
Talk
placing
about Oklahoma history, because Oklahoma is 48th in the country when it comes to education. It's ranked 48th in the country.
whatever you choose.
Okay.
We don't judge here.
All right.
Get down on whatever, Don't want to yuck anyone's yum.
I see.
Okay. Malcolm Nance coming up, bottom of the hour. Santiago Mayer says between Oz, Nome, and RFK, Trump is definitely breaking a record for the most dog killers nominated to a cabinet. There's that, too, if you're a dog lover like me. I forgot about all the dogs Dr. Oz killed, too, in medical experiments.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, and Lizzie says it just keeps getting better. Trump has picked former WWE executive Linda McMahon for Secretary of Education because nothing says quality education like hitting someone over the head with a folding chair. Have you seen the video of her in the ring doing the fake fighting and women slapping her, punching her, and her punching some woman and them hitting each other with stuff?
There's a time where she was part of the storylines.
What does that mean? Oh, in the WWE.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like a soap opera where, sometimes they bring in
good
the
guys and bad
right?
guys.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I've met
the
some of the
McMahon
glow
family.
ladies.
Everybody in the McMahon family has been a part of a storyline here and there at some point.
And now back to Rapey McForehead. Covey says the same people who showed private citizen Hunter Biden's nudes in the House are now saying it's wrong to release a report on whether the nominee to lead the DOJ is a pedophile. Yes, that's where we are. In case you were.
If there was nothing bad in the report, it would be released.
Thank you. Ed in Chicago. Hi, Ed.
Yeah, I have another one for the supporting Chris column. My mechanic is probably truly one of the most decent people I have ever met in my life. I am really grateful that I met him.
Right.
He has nieces, and yet he supports Trump. And it's a quandary for me. I don't understand.
I actually thought you said Mises. Mises. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, he doesn't hate Mises.
No, he doesn't hate Mises to pieces.
Right.
Yeah. But he's got nieces and women in his life. And this guy, I mean, I've seen not only me, but I've seen, he truly helps people from all races, genders, and just truly a decent. I don't understand how somebody can be that decent of a human being and support Trump. I don't get it. But there it is.
Yeah. No, I listen, is one of we were just talking about, why people are so susceptible to these conspiracy theories. It's just why people vote against their self-interest. It's going to take, I love that Dr. Rajoum is calling his brother psychiatrist every day too to ask what the, okay. Malcolm Nance next.
She went to Syria in 2017 for a photo op with Bashar al-Assad while he was massacring his own people. She said she was skeptical that he was behind the chemical weapons attacks. Now, this to me is disgusting because, Cheney, you and I were at the United Nations when Assad did those chemical attacks on those children. For her to say that Assad was not behind that, literally everything she said about that were Russian talking points. Every bit of that. That was Russian propaganda.
Nikki Haley, outraged. What? Shocked. Donald Trump would pick someone like Tulsi Gabbard. Wait, she went on to say, okay.
After Russia invaded Ukraine, Tulsi Gabbard literally blamed NATO. Our Western alliance that's responsible for countering Russia. She blamed NATO for the attack on Ukraine. And the Russians and the Chinese echoed her talking points and her interviews on Russian and Chinese television. Tulsi Gabbard pushed for dropping charges against WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange and pardoning National Security Agency contractor Edward Snowden, both whom were accused of leaking highly sensitive U.S. secrets that put Americans in danger.
Tristan Snell said, it's lovely Nikki Haley is now trashing Tulsi Gabbard and calling her a Russian asset and national security threat from the comfort of her podcast and radio show, instead of withholding support for Trump and endorsing Kamala Harris when it would have mattered. Thank you, Tristan. Our Hello. Malcolm Nance.
Uh-oh.
Malcolm Nance. Hello.
Is he frozen?
Hello.
There he is.
I'm in
Okay.
Los Angeles.
Hello.
Hello. Go ahead.
Reporting from Cairo.
Oh.
This is Malcolm Nance. Listen, sorry, I hit the mute button. I was sitting here listening to that and thinking, I'm on the other side of the world. I've been having a grand old time decompressing from the disaster. What could Steffi do to get me riled up? And you play this. I can't believe you did it. Well, good God. We're going shouty right out the door.
Yes, we are.
Jeez Louise. Okay. Nikki Haley, as you said, who could have said all of this in advance, didn't, because they're all looking out for their own self-interest and self-importance. She could have called this out before. But the choice of Tulsi Gabbard for Director of National Intelligence is the surrender of the U.S. intelligence community to Moscow. And I'm going to say exactly what I said when I made an assessment about Kash Patel. Here's what's going to happen. She won't be able to eat a thing in that building because people will spit in her lunch. I'm not joking.
Yeah. She
will have to call out for DoorDash, and the DoorDashers will be spitting in it. There is nothing. The community will close ranks. They won't say a word to her. She can't get through the number of cipher locks to determine if what they're telling her is the truth or if what they're telling her isn't given what we call a blue dye, which is intelligence in which we know that the user, if they leak it, it will tell U.S. intelligence and the FBI that this person is a spy. She'll have to be suspicious of everything. So if she thinks the deep state is a thing, well, just imagine what the Constitution of the United States is. It's the ultimate deep state. She is being put into a position where she will be able to use all the resources of U.S. intelligence. Granted, it's a management position. It is not an operational position. But you may as well invite Vladimir Putin's director of FSB and the SVR, their clandestine service, to just come over and photocopy what they want out of there. I'm not saying she's a traitor, because the Constitution says to be a traitor, the United States has to be at war. What I am saying is, if war were to ever break out, she'd meet the constitutional definition. So what does that make her? That makes her a asset of a foreign intelligence agency. She was a apologist for Syria when all of us, 300 chemical attacks were documented by the United Nations in Syria, and she went over and was an apologist for the greatest mass murderer. Let me tell you, Netanyahu, Gaddafi have nothing on Bashar al-Assad. Nothing. He's killed over 500,000 of his own people, men, women, and children with chemical weapons over there. He mass murders them. He tortures them in wholesale supermarkets of torture.
So, Malcolm,
like I said, nothing. She's been nominated. That tells you all you need to know about Trump. He's doing this to troll us, and he doesn't care about America.
And by the way, I just said to Dr. Doom, it seems like the find out portion of the around and find out Trump voters is happening incredibly quickly, right? New York Post, who just endorsed Trump, what was that, 2 weeks ago, urges him to dump Tulsi Gabbard and Matt Gaetz, calling them distracting chaos agents. What? He's doing everything he said he was going to do, and all these people are pretending like they're shocked.
It's a chaos agent. He's creating his version of The Apprentice, U.S. government edition, in which people will kill other people based on their crazy ideology. They will compromise the security of our agents. All other intelligence agencies in the world will go black on us. Look, the protection of the United States isn't that we have spies all over the place. It's that we have relationships with other nations who have very, very good spies. And what they're going to say is the United States is not a serious nation. We're not going to give you anything. Since 1942 or 41, the Five Eyes National Agreement, where these 5 other nations will be our allies and assist us, it will go out the window. And I suspect they want that.
And by the way,
their job, Tulsi Gabbard's job, is to damage U.S. intelligence.
Yeah, and by the way, there is no shortage of cowardice, I'm telling you. So I love that Nikki Haley also mocked Joe and Mika for being soulless sellouts, which A, is true, but B, Nikki Haley is calling someone an unprincipled sellout. Speaking of which, you retweeted Tulsi Gabbard from 2019, who said, Trump's essentially pimping out our men and women in uniform to foreign power who's the highest bidder. He is unfit to be our commander-in-chief. I mean, oh my God.
And by doing this, Trump intends to put that this nomination may, in fact, be part of the Trump humiliation protocol that he likes to implement. He makes you grovel at his feet, like RFK shoving a Big Mac in his face and taking photos. Mr. I'm on steroids, Mr. Harmful chemicals in our foods, and making him eat Big Macs. He wants her to grovel. He wants her to beg for this job. He knows she won't get confirmed. If she gets confirmed, he knows as a chaos agent, it will damage America in a way that pleases him, because somewhere in there, between all you, me, and the fence post, there's a lot of money in here to be had. And at that point, look, like the government of Austria, when they went all Nazi, they went, and started following Vladimir Putin. It was Austrian intelligence who had the secret recordings of them in their private little meetings in Ibiza that outed the entire government as corrupt and taking bribes. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but all I know is the U.S. intelligence community has an oath to the Constitution of the United States only. And anyone that goes along with this regime is in violation of that oath.
So, Malcolm, speaking of Russia and Russian assets, you literally wrote the book on 2016, and obviously I have been waiting, this story we've all been hearing, 25 focus groups and $45 million. Elon Musk pitted people against each other to cause a rift in the Democratic Party and depress turnout for Kamala Harris in the 2024 campaign, according to a new report. Muslims were bombarded by ads promoting Harris's backing of Israel. Jewish voters were told she was supportive of Palestine. Left-wingers were told she abandoned the progressive dream, while more conservative voters heard of their liberal agenda. I mean, it is, 2016, but speaking of which, on steroids, right, in 2024? I mean, it's all out in the open. I mean, Russia just paid right-wing influencers directly to spread disinformation.
I wrote about this in the second book, Plot to Destroy Democracy, and then I wrote about it again in detail in the Plot to Betray America, which is how Team Trump and Russia, compromised America. Look, what you're seeing is what the Russians did in 2016 was quickly taken over by Cambridge Analytica and Steve Bannon and Jared Kushner in 2017. Then it grew so exponentially in MAGA world that there's nothing Russia could have done. The MAGA people and their billionaire allies, they are doing what Russian intelligence did. The most the Russians could do was phone in fake-ass bomb threats.
Right.
But what did these guys do? They picked up the baton for the Russian intelligence, micro-targeted American citizens, which, to be honest, is not illegal, and it will never be illegal now. And what they did was they did what Trump did in 2016, which was target individuals based on their individual belief with advertisements and steering the algorithm of Twitter, which is a $44 billion weapon system he bought to end democracy. And I swear to God, if any of you are on Twitter, I'm going to give you your orders right now.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Stay on Twitter.
I am.
Don't interact on it. Don't tweet on it anymore.
Oh.
Read it, but don't delete your account until you see next year, sometime in the first month of, in January, you will see a resistance go order for us to simultaneously delete 20, 30 million accounts. And then, but you should all be on Blue Sky right now.
Yep,
It's
I'm
like
on Blue
Twitter
Sky,
in its
I'm on
first
Threads, and I'm still on Twitter. But yeah, I'm on Blue Sky and
I swear
Threads.
to God, these people are a danger to democracy, and I'm sorry. They are a regime. And I want you, remember how I'm always talking about meta-narrative framing? You need...
Uh-oh.
Got caught in a sandstorm.
Oh, no. Sounds like R2-D2. Hello?
Oh, no.
Damn.
Didn't R2-D2 also crawl across a desert
He
landscape?
did. On Tatooine. I think.
That's kind of cool. Malcolm, can you hear us? Because we could
totally set that to a dance beat. Oh my God, that would be
Grab that.
amazing.
I think you
Yeah.
should grab that. Malcolm, we can't hear you.
I'm going to use this to interview Mark Hamill next time he calls in. That's not true. Okay. All right. Damn. All right. Well, we're going to have to... God, and I saved his hate tweet for him. From, Stan. Stan, that guy.
Your buddy Stan.
Yeah. He tweeted, racist warmonger Malcolm Nance won't have any wars to participate in when President Trump takes office and gets a peace agreement in Ukraine. Do you think that would have triggered him? Hey, R2-D2, what do you think of that?
I don't know what happened.
Yes. Peace. Shouldn't that always be in air quotes? Peace agreement, meaning giving Ukraine to Putin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay.
Should we maybe break and then see
All
if
right.
we can reconnect with them during the break?
He just hung up.
He went bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. Anyway, well, R2-D2 was entertaining, although I don't know. It feels like there were some very good points made.
If he's able to reconnect, we can take him in the next segment.
All right, fine. 47 minutes after the hour of this portion. Wow. Did that blow up in Joe and Mika's face? Wow. And on cue, oh my God, now their humiliation is complete. Yep. You knew this was going to happen. They're went back to an abusive spouse or something. Exactly. Trump tweets. Oh my God. When Nikki Haley mocks you for being a pathetic sellout. Oh my God. Mm-hmm. Donald Trump tweeted, this morning, Joe and Mika, who owe their careers to me, went on their show to claim to have met with me. They made it sound like we had a summit. The truth is, Joe begged to meet with me after our big win. For some reason, only the B and the W are capitalized, but okay. And when I finally agreed, he approached me like a scolded dog. He should consider himself lucky I didn't have him thrown out of beautiful Mar-a-Lago. Mika was charming as usual.
He wants to F her.
What's that?
He wants to F her.
She's too old.
My God.
She's really pretty, though.
How personal has he made it with them? He's called her a dumb bitch. I don't know how many times, essentially. Talked about her facelift, and you have a program called Know Your Value? Oh, my God. I mean...
She was lovely when she was on this show, though.
She was very nice.
Yeah.
She was funny.
I thought they were on our side. I'm like, oh, see, you were right about those ex-Republicans. They're going to sting me afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here's the thing that, everybody is saying. Dino Badala wrote a great piece. We're going to have him on tomorrow. First of all, we all can tell you why the ratings have been down. First of all, nobody liked the liberal, quote unquote, network beating up on Joe Biden. As I mentioned many times, only Lawrence O'Donnell's ratings went up. Oh, Clyde's digging a little hole.
Where are you digging to?
He's digging a little hole to China, where Morning Joe did a piece about how authoritarianism is winning there. Oh, they're jailing all the journalists and stuff. Isn't that weird?
Okay. He's trying to dig a hole to China, but he's ending up in Pacoima. What's going on?
He's small. He has little claws.
He's also not very bright.
He is not. That is
He's
not
adorable.
We are going to be respectful of each other, despite the fact that Chris is always wrong. Oh, I mean, just that we have differing views.
He doesn't feel well still.
I
We
know.
have to be nice to him.
Okay, Chris does not feel well. He's had the flu for several days. So tread lightly.
Be nice to him, people.
People were mad at you because you weren't nice to Anita. And we love our Anita from San Antonio, who is one of our longtime beloveds. Everybody, we're going through a very difficult period, all of us. Everybody's very tired. We're exhausted. Some of us are getting sick because we're exhausted. And
I
not
just don't like
sleeping.
complete strangers telling me who I can be friends with. That's all.
We're just talking about tone and respect for each other. Yes, you are. It's up to you who you want to, which fascist you want to be friends with. Okay, so.
Wow, Stephanie Louise,
I'm
you were
kidding.
supposed to be
Listen,
nice
if we
just
lose
now.
our sense of humor, we lose everything. All right, here's my point about. Seriously, they think this is going to help their ratings on the liberal channel to go. It is so stunning, and you knew that was on cue. And Fox News, of course, is running with it like crazy, going, "Oh, they're lucky he even let them crawl down here to beg forgiveness." Are you kidding me? I'm telling you what liberals don't want to watch. I'm their target audience. I can tell you what they don't want to watch any more beating up on Democrats.
Right.
Instead of where the blame largely belongs, and they're part of it. This is why people don't trust mainstream media, because you already sane-washed and normalized Trump and all of his lies. That disinformation was the number one factor. I don't want to hear any of this bull anymore about eggs. I just don't. It's part of it. It's not. Yeah. I'm tired of it's all of it. And we've got to be the ones to beat ourselves and flagellate ourselves when you've got a autocrat like this. Okay. By the way, is this not the biggest middle finger to the American people? All of his picks, yeah. Donald Trump, right? I mean,
pretty much.
Yeah. Lots of folks on the. So Scarborough, I did tune in today. First of all, the first thing I saw was Petty and Noonan. All right, I am out.
Did you have the little birds or wine birds flying around her?
These Chardonnay canaries, yes. But he dismissed backlash over their visit as proof of the massive disconnect between social media and the real world. It's not just social media. That's why your ratings are in the toilet.
Right.
Malcolm Nance and R2D2. Hi, Malcolm Nance. I saved your
Hey.
I saved your hate tweet for you because I
yay.
I shouldn't be the only one. Stan says racist warmonger Malcolm Nance won't have any wars to participate in when President Trump takes office and gets a peace agreement in Ukraine. First of all, I'm not sure who you're racist against. Go ahead.
What a bunch of morons. I just find these people are really weird. These are the people that worship the military like they're gods. But while Donald Trump called them suckers and losers, they won't believe that. And then they go, we want all the money in the world and we want helicopters to fly over our sports games, but we don't want to protect America or its allies or its assets anywhere in the world. And that's going to stop. Does anybody remember the first day after Donald Trump took president, he launched cruise missiles, into Syria days after that. And then he had a raid. He authorized a raid Obama would not authorize because it was too dangerous. And the target set was not confirmed. And it killed a Navy Chief Petty Officer SEAL. Nobody remembers any of that. But they don't remember that he gave Afghanistan to the Taliban. If that's their idea of winning, these people just hate America.
I'm glad you brought Malcolm.
They just do.
I'm glad you brought that up. I could not wait to talk to you about this. So, Donald Trump's plan to court-martial top military brass for their part in the withdrawal from Afghanistan, slammed obviously by General Jerry McCaffrey. He wants them to be charged with treason. Trump has also previously suggested he wants to court-martial generals who wrote critical op-eds against him. He said, this is what General McCaffrey said. Trump ran for office saying get out of Afghanistan. He reduced the troop presence to 2,500. He negotiated directly with the Taliban. When Biden came into office, there were only 2,500 troops on the ground, made things difficult when they were forced to give up the U.S. Air Force base. The evacuation from a tactical military viewpoint was a brilliant success. We got out of there with 100,000 Afghan civilians fleeing with us.
Right.
But anyway, this is Trump's Afghan withdrawal plan. So he's going to court-martial. Go ahead.
Look. Okay, let's not even entertain that. This is why Trump does this chaos agent stuff. Because he wants us to scream and shout and debate this. The Constitution of the United States sets forth in the Uniform Code of Military Justice. First off, there's only one crime listed in the Constitution. That is treason. The articles for treason we must be in a declared war, not a state of conflict, not a police action, not a non-combatant evacuation. Only Congress could declare war, and the last declared war was in 1941, on December 8th, 1941. Therefore, can't do it. Number two, the Constitution states that it must be aid and comfort to the enemy in terms of Benedict Arnold. It also says that you cannot hold them or their families accountable out of revenge, right? Constitution is very clear on this. That cannot be treason. But to him, this is Donald Trump redefining treason as whatever Trump wants it. That is what kings do. And that's why I want to introduce two words into your vocabulary. You're going to start, all of you need to start using this meta-narrative. One, do not debate these things with MAGA. Don't debate at all. Just shout in their face, Mad King Donald is a tyrant. The very words we use for King George III. And then you need to say, we want our liberty. Liberty is what we're striving for. Liberty from this tyrant. Liberty from the craziness. Liberty from these fools. All right?
So General McCaffrey said he believes this will go nowhere because there's no precedent. Well, neither is there for anything else he's trying to do. So, we're in a whole new world, Malcolm.
Hitler hung generals by piano wire on his say-so to go to an extreme version of it. I'm just trying to tell you that the Uniform Code of Military Justice is founded by the Constitution alone.
Let's hope it holds. We love you, Malcolm Nance.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Stephanie Miller.
You say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave.
Did you ever say anything before Sarah McBride existed? Why last year when there were no trans
Because she's
members?
confronted by the situation
Yes.
in Congress.
Nancy
you
Mace
learn
is not
anything
afraid of
from
Sarah
the
McBride.
election? Didn't you learn that the American people don't want this? That the majority of people don't want to be kowtowing to a 0.01% of people who want to enter into my bathroom? I don't want a guy who's dressed as a woman, who thinks he's a woman, whether he has his thing or not. I don't want him in my bathroom. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to wash my hands near him. I don't want him in there. You know what? Get your own freaking bathroom. Go in
She
your own
has her own
unisex.
bathroom.
Go in your own unisex bathroom. But
That would be the lovely Judge Jeanine Pirro.
Lovely, isn't
I don't
she?
want to share a bathroom with her because I don't feel like holding her hair while she barfs from, too many.
There's that.
So what do you think she drinks? I don't know. Gin and tonics. Something.
Sex
Smells
on a
like-
beach.
It smells like gin. Huh?
Sex on a beach.
I think Stephanie's right.
Yeah.
She seems like a gin person.
Yeah. Yeah. They're not.
She drinks a gin Ricky.
There you go. Gibson.
Raised by a wild pack of Jews, here's Dana Goldberg. Goldberg's here. Gold. Ha ha ha. For one of the top 5 funniest lesbians in America. Goldberg's here. I'll stick with you, baby, for 1,000 years. Nothing gets better when Dana's here. Dana's here.
Oh, golly. Good morning, Dana Goldberg.
Good morning. Maybe someone should do a gender check on Judge Shapiro walking around sounding like my Uncle Murray all day. Like,
Yeah.
I just can't with these people.
And thank you. Your thread was the best. I stopped taking Nancy Mace seriously about protecting women's spaces after she voted for an adjudicated rapist to be president of the United States. And will for attorney general, too, by the way.
Absolutely. They want to protect women's spaces. They're, I don't feel comfortable with the trans woman paying next to me. You think these women feel safe in Congress with Matt Gaetz, who clearly raped an underage girl? I'm sorry, allegedly. Yep, I gotcha. And the president of the United States, who was convicted of rape? Like, you really think this is about protecting women's spaces? Come on. And 3 years ago, she put out a tweet saying that she supports the LGBTQ community and equality for trans people. I don't know what happened to that woman that made her so ugly and so evil. And I'm talking about the inside, not the outside.
Yeah.
But it is
Just a
bizarre
bully.
to me.
Just a
Elon
bully.
Musk happened to him too.
Yeah, just mean. She, when asked whether she planned to talk to McBride, May said no. Sarah McBride doesn't get a say. I mean,
She's the person at the center of all of this.
I'm sorry. Like I said, this is like the help for transgender people. I mean, Mike Johnson's literally like, she has a perfectly good bathroom she could use in her own whatever. Are you kidding me? Right? Like, so you're just going to make sure that one member of Congress, maybe she has a vote or she's late to something, but she can't use the bathroom that regular people use.
Where do you think Sarah McBride has been peeing for the last 4 years when she was in the Delaware legislature?
Thank you.
And no one had a problem with it because there weren't bigots running around in the legislature. This is a made-up issue. This isn't a problem. More Republicans have actually been arrested for committing sexual assault and crimes in a bathroom than any trans person ever has been.
Well, and also, Nancy Mace being the first woman at the Citadel,
Right.
didn't they have to make special bathroom accommodations for her?
I'm sure they did.
When she first enrolled?
This is such a non-issue. I can't even.
Nothing like a woman from the South proud about segregating restrooms. It's just disgusting.
Yeah, you said trans women are not committing crimes in bathrooms. Here's a short list of Republicans who have: John Hinson, oral sodomy; Larry Craig, part of a sex sting operation; Bob Allen for paying an undercover cop for oral sex; Q shooting star. The more you know. That was cute.
Thank you. Also, can we also remember that Sarah McBride, and I hate even making these excuses and these reasons, Sarah McBride had a lovely marriage to a very sweet man. I promise you, Sarah McBride is not dressing the way she feels comfortable to go into women's restrooms, to make people uncomfortable, assault them. I'm just like, and no trans person is. Your issue is not with trans women, it's with predatory men, and let's get that straight. It infuriates me.
I was saying, how many times was the George Stephanopoulos interview? How many times did she play the rape card? She does it every time, and she did it again, reacting to Hakeem Jeffries' opposition to this, mean-spirited ban. I can't believe they're passing a ban so that one person can't use a bathroom in the Capitol. Anyway, she said it's the height of gaslighting to have this guy, a man, Hakeem Jeffries, try to bully me. Hakeem Jeffries is the bully for saying don't bully our new member of Congress. Bully me into submission. Look, I'm a rape survivor. I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. And then she went on to say she's getting death threats. She said men that want to use women's bathrooms are threatening to kill me over this issue. Republicans are always the victims. I mean, they're the bullies in the first place, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm the victim."
I promise you this too: if men want to assault women, they're not going to dress up and drag and go into a women's restroom.
Right.
They're going to walk right in and do what they want to do. This is just—it's a fabricated issue. 4 years ago, 2019, this was not a problem. The Republicans made it an issue. It caught fire, and they've been using it ever since. No one had a problem with this before.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, no, as I keep saying, it all comes back to disinformation, Dana. They didn't win on trans issues. They won on lying about trans issues. The Kamala Harris is doing trans surgery on illegal immigrants in prison, which to throw all the prejudices in together, right? That people are sending their kids to school and they're coming back a different gender with the. I mean, it's just. Okay.
It just hurts my heart because I understand we're talking about this as a public, a BS with Nancy Mace and one trans member of Congress. There are thousands and millions of trans people across this country and this world that are hearing this, dehumanizing them. Yeah. It is hurting my heart, my friends. They are scared. And people are online laughing. Every time I defend someone, the attack, and I said this on the Daily Beans, I wonder sometimes if my trans advocacy is hurting them more than me not saying anything because of the disgusting comments that it attracts on Twitter and other places.
You didn't bring it up. We didn't bring it up. Kamala Harris didn't bring it up. They brought it up.
I know.
As another new way to fearmonger and divide people. They spent $50 million on this anti-trans ad. We weren't running on this. They were, and then put us in a defensive crouch and kind-spirited people like you going, don't bully people. That's all we're saying on our side.
That's it.
By the way, Ron tweeted, Thirsty Nancy Mace has now made 83 posts in the last 22 hours about the women's bathroom in the Capitol. Here she is, just a news.
So that being a feminist makes me an extremist. I'm totally here for it.
Is this effort in response to Congresswoman McBride?
I'm sorry, stop it for a feminist that's voting supporting how many rapists, including the president?
Yes, and absolutely, and then some. I'm not going to stand for a man, if someone with a penis is in the women's locker room, that's not okay. And I'm a victim of abuse myself. I'm a rape survivor. I have PTSD from the abuse I've suffered at the hands of a man. And I know how vulnerable women and girls are in private spaces. So I'm absolutely 100% going to stand in the way of any man who wants to be in a women's restroom, in our locker rooms, in our changing rooms. I will be there fighting you every step of the way.
How do you think
this is the party we're told,
Who's
by the way.
Who's going to enforce this? Right. Who is going to enforce this? Who is going to enforce this? Do you know how many trans women have had surgery? So if you're even talking about genitals, take that out of the situation. Right. Some people have surgery, some people don't have surgery. Sometimes a trans person just changes their clothing and their name and gets a haircut. This is absurd. Yeah. And there are 200,000 intersex people born in this country every year. You're going to do gender checks on them? Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
The AOC said it perfectly. This is putting women and girls in danger. Anyone that doesn't look like they should, that Republicans think women should act, speak, talk, dress. You're going to have a gender check by who? A man?
Yeah.
It's mind-blowing to me. There's no way to enforce this.
Small government, get the government out of our business, yada, yada. All we're saying is just leave people alone. Let them live this one life they have. Okay. With Laura Ingraham. Oh, great. Mm-hmm. With Laura Ingraham.
Are you intimating that this new congressman-elect would somehow assault you in the bathroom? That would be the argument.
The idea of a man walking into a locker room where I'm changing is actually, it feels like assault. I am a victim. I have PTSD from the trauma that I have endured at the hands of a man. And I'm going to stand in the way solidly of any guy that wants to come into our spaces. And guess what? Sarah McBride doesn't get a say in this.
I look forward to the trans men that are going to walk into the ladies' room at Congress now.
How is she not just a mean girl? She's just a mean girl. It shouldn't even be partisan. We're having Charlotte Clymer on, who I know because thanks to Dana Goldberg next week on this.
She's
one last
phenomenal.
one. Yeah.
It is offensive that a man in a skirt thinks that he's my equal, like that his challenges are the same as mine. They're not. And he's forcing his genitals into women's restrooms, into dressing rooms, into locker rooms. No. It's sick. It's twisted. And here you showed that clip. The left celebrating mental illness.
I can't. I'm done with her. Okay. Dana. So
to bring just a little levity, I did see a tweet yesterday that says breaking House Speaker Mike Johnson announces that male Republicans neutered by Donald Trump may continue to use the men's bathrooms.
That's funny. Okay. Right. By the way, you were where were you? You said about Mike Johnson. Funny how being a man of God, Mike Johnson has no problem protecting rapists and child sex traffickers. Oh my God! Right, all of them. Also, you said since they refused to release it, I'm sure reading the ethics report on Matt Gaetz, Mike Johnson's son got an alert on his phone. I mean, this party can hardly become more of a parody of itself, can it?
Absolutely. If Matt Gaetz didn't rape an underage girl, then they'd have no problem releasing the investigation. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Right.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
If he was innocent, they would release the investigation. So it's obviously he did something wrong. I hope to God someone leaks it. Either maybe they're done in Congress or just someone who's like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care if I get censured. If that's the right word. I don't care.
Yeah.
If I get expelled. Like, I don't want this alleged rapist to be the attorney general.
I mean, you've obviously, like you said it's obviously damaging AF. This report. There's also, I can't even keep track of which rapey stack I'm looking at. House ethics investigators reporting the possessions of numerous photos from the two women who claim Matt Gaetz paid them for sex. The women additionally provided the ethics committee with selfies Gaetz is said to have sent them. Oh God. We knew it wasn't long before the D-pics. They also testified they sent nude photos to Gaetz. The evidence the House has, I would presume, is overwhelming because my clients were just two of the other witnesses. It's a fraction of the evidence that available of the thousands of documents obtained by the House.
Not to mention, he took two sex workers to see Pretty Woman in New York. Could you be any more douchey and on point? It's just so... it's just ridiculous at this point.
Representative Steve Cohen, he's a Republican of Tennessee, claimed Gaetz made amazing and shocking comments to him when he first came into Congress, consistent with the recent accusations against him. He wouldn't say what they were exactly, but obviously it was like, look at this high school girl I'm banging, or whatever. It's just, this is what he said openly to other Republicans on the floor of Congress.
Oh my God! Not to mention, have you seen Matt Gaetz before and after? He's had more facial feminization surgery than anyone I've seen. My God.
All right. When we come back, the Pete Hegseth police report of sexual assault. Wow. Okay. Things are especially rapey this morning.
A little bit.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, but thank God, women in the Capitol are, safe from peeing next to someone they don't.
I peed next to John Entwistle at a Who concert. That was cool.
That's an interesting urine fun fact.
Women's go into the men's restroom every time the line is too long at any
exactly.
At any sort of event. We're like, we're going to go in the men's restroom. And no men are like, oh my God, there's a vagina next to me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
It's because they know men are rapey. Trans women are not men.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. 19 minutes after the hour. Of all the dividing that Donald Trump has done, we were talking about this whole gender grab. Sorry, did I say gender gap?
You said gender grab.
All right. That's what Matt Gaetz does.
Yes, he grabs the genders.
Yes.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's just all the way to the top of the Trump administration, just rapey, creepy. Mm-hmm. So this story, McKenna, who is 24, lives in a rural conservative state, recently got back on dating apps after a year of finding herself. She's had 2 first dates planned this weekend. After Trump won the election, though, she canceled both. She said, it's heartbreaking to know that in this country you only matter if you're a straight white man. It's just devastating we're at this point, so I will not let another man touch me till I have my rights back. The basic idea, women swear off heterosexual marriage, dating, sex, and childbirth in protest against institutionalized misogyny and abuse. I mean, when you've got Nick Fuentes calling people dumb bitches and saying, your body, my choice, and they're the ones saying, you know, oh, come on, calm down, get over this. Let's all heal and come together. No, you know what? Go to your own websites and find your women. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. Right?
Right. You've heard of Asian Friend Finder, Black Cupid, and J-Date. There's even wherewhitepeoplemeet.com. But who has the time to go swimming through that huge gene pool? You've got better things to do. Announcing wherewhitepeopledatetheircousins.com. Where White People Date Their Cousins has the patented family tree selection engine that helps you sift through all your potential mates who don't share your interests, your passions, your paternal grandmother.
I met Billy Ray on Where White People Date Their Cousins, and we realized all those family reunions just weren't enough.
Amber Jean was a lot more fun than when we were playing G.I. Joe meets Barbie in the sandbox 20 years ago.
Where whitepeopledatetheircousins.com. Available now in these 31 red states. From the people who brought you Knott's eHarmony, Sudate and Date, and Christian Mengele.
Come on, it's funny, Sudate and Date. Where do you go, Hitler Burger, on a Sudate and Date?
That's right. Doy.
All right, I have been talking about, in honor of Kamala Harris, to try to lift someone up instead of beat them down, because we were all very, very exhausted and raw. On that subject, I suck. I suck balls. I just want to say that right now. I totally missed yesterday. Margaret said, Steph, my sister Kate from Milwaukee is a huge fan of yours. Our beloved Kate from Milwaukee. Mm-hmm. She made that beautiful blanket for me upstairs. Mm-hmm. She and her husband Scott have been through a horrible, horrible year. People are going through a lot of stuff outside politics. So just remember with that, the people are going through stuff and maybe need a lift. I'm reaching out to ask a big favor. Kate turns 50 November 18th. I meant to do this yesterday. I suck. Yesterday. Is there any possible way you could do a special shout out with a nod to her husband Scott as well? Happy birthday, Kate.
Happy birthday, Kate.
Late. The Sexy Liberal Tour hit Chicago on August 17th. Kate and Scott were lined up with front row tickets to the show. I remember this. Kate called at 7 a.m. That morning. Scott got the call. There was a matched kidney. Of course, they dropped everything, but still thought of others and transferred their tickets to a friend so their amazing seats wouldn't go to waste. Kate has been my biggest supporter and protector my whole life. They deserve a little sunshine. If you're still reading this, thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Maggie, and happy birthday, Kate, and thank you for all the love and support. And I'm sorry, people. Ooh, I have friends going through health stuff. It's just, people are going through other stuff that makes then all this, political stress on top of it. I ran into the beautiful Mary Lou Hamill. She said Mark's been really depressed. Mark worked his heart out in this election.
Yes, he did.
And left it all on the field.
Yeah.
And there are people just, you think, oh, they're rich and famous. They're not going to be affected. Everybody is.
They're
is
people.
Affected. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jorita in Washington. Steph, one good thing is I found your show on Free Speech TV. Welcome, all the former Morning Joe viewers. I never say I'm not an opportunist and a capitalist, despite being a liberal. I'm also signing up for other podcasts that align with my beliefs. Midas Touch, Brian Tyler Cohen, Great Choices.
He's coming on very soon, too.
Yes, he is.
I just
Yeah.
saw.
Great Choices. Dean Obadala will be on tomorrow. Support Sirius XM Progress here with John Fugelsang, Zerlina Maxwell, Michelangelo Signorelli. So many great talents. As one of my friends said, the Great Reckoning is coming. I'm still friends with a few Strumpers. For me, I find it's better to keep friends close and enemy friends closer to see how they react to the carnage coming our way and help convince them and others to change their thinking and understanding.
Stephanie Miller.
Yes, it is the Stephanie Miller Show. Westy tweets, why are the comedians such as Jon Stewart, John Oliver, Stephen Colbert better journalists than those who claim to be actual journalists? Dana, we were saying, a lot of people tweeting that's where they're getting their news. I hate to say it, but it is falling on us comedians to tell the truth and the actual news. And I agree. Those guys are doing a better job.
100%. It happened the same way when he was, quote unquote, elected the first time. There was it's been this way for about 8 years, and people don't trust the mainstream media. They go to comedians because comedians are the ones telling the truth. I mean, there's so many comedians out there, the ones that have just thrown out a line that have gotten Bill Cosby got caught because a comedian was sort of just throwing out, a line. We've got our dear friend who was the opening comic on The Apprentice. What the hell is his name?
Noel Kessler.
Noel spewing the truth because he was there and he knows all the stuff behind the scenes. When a comedian says something about someone, even if there's a little bit of jest, if it is dark, chances are they're throwing this person under the bus and they want people to hear it.
Yeah. By the way, someone threaded reality TV really us, didn't it?
Yeah.
Can I just say, I always hated reality TV right from the very beginning. It was mean spirited. It's just, but it brought us, I think, part of this whole culture that we have. Literally, a reality star as president who's picked a bunch of other reality stars or people he saw on TV.
Star is carrying a lot of weight there. Star is carrying a lot.
I was doing heavy lifting in that sentence. I apologize.
Yeah. And it's now easier to talk about the people who aren't either sexual predators or covering up sex crimes in this administration. Even if you go down to McMahon, I mean, there's rumor going around that she was covering up a sex crime for someone else. And also the fact these videos coming around at the Secretary of Education, we have to remember, and Allison Gill will back this up, these people are not being put in these positions to do good things with these government agencies. They're being put in these positions to destroy them.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. So if you're wondering, oh my God, why would he pick that person? There's no rhyme or reason. It's just to destroy them.
Yeah.
Why would a rich billionaire want to work harder and actually do something with the Department of Education? They don't. They want to sit on their butt, take the money, that they're not going to do anything to make these organizations any better.
Yep. You said, let's be honest, if Jesus were alive today, MAGA would have him deported. Fine line between joke, true. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Comedians are the truth tellers. It's true. I love this one, by the way. Jax Persist tweets, scrolling through TikTok, and apparently a lot of church choirs are singing Madonna's Like a Prayer, and I'm just over here laughing that they have no idea it's a song about sucking.
Yep.
I mean, come on. And using YMCA to do a double handy J dance, it's all funny.
I almost spit out my water on that one.
More Dana Goldberg next.
Oh, man.
girls. Marjorie Taylor
I
Greene,
can't even
Lauren
tell you
Boebert,
how my blood
Nancy
is
Mace.
boiling right now.
I know. Oh, would you like one more though?
Yeah, that'll be good.
Sure.
No.
So my specific question was, are we as women going to be left to physically defend ourselves from a man that has no respect for us as women, and as a matter of fact is so sick and mentally ill that he thinks he's a woman, dresses like a woman, calls himself a woman, and has the audacity to come and charge in? That's an assault. I see it as a physical assault when he is coming in our bathroom where we are in a position of weakness.
Oh my God.
This is
Oh my God, you're in a stall. You're in a locked stall, sitting on your butt, going to the bathroom. What sort of position of weakness are you in a restroom?
Plus, you're someone that throws zillion-pound stupid barbells around at CrossFit, and you're seriously, and you're voted for a rapist. That's assault.
Also, under this theory, and I hate to even say this, under this theory, why aren't they concerned about lesbians? Why aren't they concerned about lesbians in restrooms and dressing rooms?
Right.
They're not, because this isn't about protecting women. It is about the fact that they know men are predatory, and that's what they're going on. They are in I can't even speak, or you're going to have to dump the show.
I know.
Green's quote.
No, Dana, I just read somebody again. It's not anybody's business, but someone read Sarah McBride's memoir and says she's had bottom surgery. So I don't even want to. Okay, not anybody's business anyway. But okay, can I just? I don't know why. In a totally unconnected story, Pete Hegseth police report details rape allegation. Oh my God! With all this Matt Gaetz stuff coming out, this police report on the allegation of sexual assault against Pete Hegseth of Fox News, for Secretary of Defense. Oh my God! It was obtained by media. It contains graphic details of the 2017 encounter. It was in Monterey, California, at a Republican women's conference. The woman was 30 at the time. Submitted for a rape kit exam at a local hospital. It was the nurse who called the police. Obviously. I'm sorry, I don't think someone goes to a hospital to get a rape kit if it didn't happen.
Right.
The two different women who attended the conference said Hegseth put his hand on their legs, asked them to come back to his room. One of the women told Hegseth the physical contact was not acceptable. She said she then called over the woman who ended up being the victim to act as a buffer so he wouldn't continue to pursue her. At some point after midnight, Hegseth and the woman had an argument outside at the pool. She said it was over his treatment of women. At the front desk, that they received multiple complaints about a couple causing a disturbance by the pool. Hegseth told the hotel worker he had freedom of speech. The victim, Jane Doe, told the worker they were Republicans and apologized for Hegseth. I'm sorry. I don't know why. Because only Republicans have freedom of speech. I don't know what that nugget was. But anyway, she had told the nurse she thought someone had slipped something in her drink. She says Hegseth took her phone and blocked the door with his body. Another person who spoke with the police said Doe would cry secretly and out of the blue ever since that night. I mean,
and I don't know if someone needs a handler to get him to and from his room because he drinks too much and he seems to be having a problem with, I don't know, maybe making women uncomfortable, perhaps he shouldn't be in charge of the military. Maybe someone who needs a handler to get him to and from a room at a conference should not be in charge of the military.
Yeah. I mean, it's really, okay. By the way, Fernando Armandi, our friend, was tweeted about what we mentioned. Frank Figliuzzi said, Frank Figliuzzi just came up with a critically important, urgent, inspired, and genius idea. Joe Biden should order FBI background checks of Trump's cabinet picks immediately. I mean, I don't know if Biden will. I hate to say it because he's such a, institutionalist and blah, blah, blah. But I mean, this really... America's national security on so many fronts, it hangs in the balance here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. And the fact that, I mean, not even just that, we've got, a Russian asset in charge of our intelligence. Like, this is all it's a mess. It's an absolute mess. And no wonder the world is bracing. It's not just the United States. The entire world is bracing for January 20th. That would not be happening if Kamala Harris had been elected.
Yeah. I mean, we were just saying, it was like 2 weeks ago, and we've aged like 45 years, and we're not even close to the actual, right? What are we, at least 2 months away from him actually taking office, and we're already like, This is Jason Crow.
And there's different ways to be competent as a head of an organization. You could have experience running a large organization, a business, and know organizational structures. You can be a policy expert. There's different models of that. But with Tulsi Gabbard, for example, she has none of these. She's not run large organizations. She's not a policy expert. What she is somebody with a very long affinity for autocrats and dictators that are adversaries of the United States, somebody who's dealt with conspiracy theories. And then the second is loyalty. I question their loyalty to the Constitution versus their loyalty to adversaries. And, every American should be really concerned about that.
Again, national security is not, should not be a partisan issue. It's just, we've already heard this from around the world. Nobody will be sharing intelligence with the United States if Tulsi Gabbard is the director of national intelligence.
No, she's already been flagged long ago for meeting with our adversaries, people she shouldn't have been meeting with. Also, it goes back to her dad, too. The
homophobe.
The indoctrination from her father that wore off on her. My God.
Yeah. But as we're told, Dana, this was all about the price of eggs. I just thought.
Oh, right. Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if this is relevant, but the headline is Trump sells limited edition signed MAGA guitars for $10,000. That's so weird.
Excellent!
Apparently, we're going to have the busiest travel season ever over Thanksgiving, but nobody's got any money, apparently. I'm sorry, but eggs? Is that like but her emails?
But eggs.
But the eggs.
I truly feel like, the only thing I can compare this to, this is going to be the biggest smash and grab this country's ever seen. It's going to happen very quickly.
Yeah.
They're going to have hopefully only 2 years to do it, but it is going to be the largest smash and grab this country's ever seen.
Yes, he announced the grift goes on. He announced the release of a series of limited edition signed guitars with the Make America...
Excellent!
With the Make America... Oh, do we have that Hannah Montana guitar, too? The Make America Great emblazoned on the instrument. So that's what makes it worth $10,000. He tweeted, coming soon, the limited edition 45 guitar, only 1,300 each of acoustic and electric guitars made. Some personally signed.
Some personally signed.
Jeez.
Not all of them, just some.
Someone's going to be like, I didn't get one, yet none of you are getting a personally signed guitar. Some might be. We don't know.
Oh, there's different levels of the grift. Are you ready to know what's... Okay. Hope you saved up your egg money. The cheapest range of guitars, the God Bless the USA guitar, is $1,000. Then we have the American Eagle series with American flags and eagles between $1,250 and $1,500, and the presidential series. That's got to be excellent. Those are $1,500. How about a whopping $10,000 for one of the signature edition guitars?
Excellent!
Yeah. That's the same as the American Eagle guitars, but with the addition of Trump's signature for only $8,500.
Is it an eagle with underpants?
I don't know.
Okay.
And don't forget, you can still get $400 sneakers, $100,000 gold watches, $60 King James Bible, $100 MAGA McDonald's T-shirts, digital NFT trading cards, and a nearly $1 million Ultra MAGA experience, which is totally
excellent.
But the eggs. But no one can afford anything. Oh my God, Dana!
I know. Even Republicans are like, this is not what these people voted for. And you know what? It is. It is. You knew who the guy was. You did.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it affects all of us, but you knew who he was. This buyer's remorse is BS.
No, we're reading a different story every day somewhere of people going, what? Wait, what did I vote for? I didn't, Huh? Affordable care
Wait,
Act
the ACA is Obamacare? Wait, what? It's going to be repealed? That's how my grandma gets her insurance because she's a cancer survivor. I can't.
The tragedy is them thinking they're just going to hurt other people. They're going to hurt all of us. That's what we tried to say.
Absolutely.
Over and over. Let's go to Larry the Mailman's back in Minneapolis. Hello, Larry.
Hey, you guys. I love you so much. I have two concerns.
Only two?
Everyone listening needs to get a membership in Free Speech TV because this is how we get liberal ideas out there.
Yep.
I have a really, really big Catholic family, and I'm trying to get them on board to do that. And my second concern is Obama and Glenn Kirshner should be appointed to the Supreme Court now.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, all right. I don't,
No.
there's a lot of speculation. Somebody also was saying appointing Kamala Harris to the Supreme Court, and part of it, and I think it gets frustrating stuff that could actually be accomplished. It's like, you need to do this, and I'm not sure it actually could be done. I mean, how is Mitch McConnell
well,
gonna...
also, I mean, with all due respect, Kamala Harris wants to be in a position where she can actually make a difference, and unfortunately, I know Sotomayor, and they're fighting tooth and nail, and Ketanji Brown Jackson, but the Supreme Court. The Democrats you can do everything you want to do, but unfortunately it's so corrupt. I think Kamala Harris would be better served in a different position, to be honest with you.
Somebody actually wrote an article recently that Amy Coney Barrett might be the liberals' best hope.
That's frightening.
Well, I have a theory that
that's
Clarence Thomas is
terrifying.
putting pubic hairs on her Coke can, and that's why she votes sometimes with the other ladies.
Yeah. I mean, just so you know, and I would put money on this. They are going to retire right before the midterms. Those two, the oldest ones, Clarence Thomas and the other bigot, they're going to retire right before the midterms. Not before then. They're going to milk this for all they can. But God forbid we actually have a real election and the midterms flip and we get the Senate back. They're not going to be able to confirm. So they will retire and be replaced right before the midterms.
Yeah, and my bet for who it's going to be those two, what is it, the pickleball babies from the E-Trade commercial. It's going to be someone really young.
Those would be better.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Those two would be much better on the Supreme Court than what we've got.
They
now.
look like a little Clarence Thomas.
They're
and
adorable.
Yeah. Looking for silver linings, people. 46 minutes after the hour. This portion
I'm looking for an aluminum lining at this point. I would take any sort of metal.
Like a gum wrapper lining.
Nickel.
Jesus.
This portion of the show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The official stem cell of the Stephanie Miller Show. Hi, Victor Shee. We've missed you.
Yeah.
I miss you too. I was gonna say I went from being named the official stem cell to dude bro. I'll take it. Great to see you.
None of us have kids, so we're all like, Victor, what's happening with the kids? So you just graduated from UCLA. You were working on the campaign, so you haven't been able to come on in a while. But so we started talking off air, and I wanted to save the conversation for on air because obviously that's a conversation, right, about Joe Rogan. Just give us your thoughts on all of this.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think all of the sort of post-mortem analysis has been really exhausting to hear, but I think generally Joe Rogan wouldn't have helped. I don't think that he would have endorsed Kamala. I don't think that it would have really mattered. But I do think that it's worth having a conversation more generally about sort of where our media is right now and this Republican-controlled media ecosystem that keeps me up at night. I just wrote about this like last week, but when you look at sort of all the mediums of communication, radio, podcasts, cable news, state and local media now, it's pretty much all co-opted and owned by Republicans. And Democrats, I think, have a lot of catching up to do, and I think we have to think a lot about sort of where we go next in terms of where we convey our information, what that looks like, who it reaches, because right now, unfortunately, the most popular shows are all Republican, and I think Democrats have some catching up to do.
Yeah, it's interesting. First of all, the thing that disturbed me the most is that they called that news. I get my news from Joe Rogan.
Yes,
it's not news, but it is the ecosystem we're in. You're right, and I think Chris brought up. I mean, Mark Maron is a very popular podcast, and he's a left-leaning guy. So I listen. There's a lot of left-leaning, I think, talented broadcasters.
The Stephanie Miller Show.
Oh, yeah, me. Me. I think primarily my point was me.
Of course. That means doy.
But, like Joe Rogan, we actually talk about other stuff than politics, and so does Mark Maron. I mean, I think that's part of it is that, as we were saying, I don't think anyone wants to hear just like talking points on either side.
Right.
But I agree with you that I think you cannot ignore the massive, not just racism, misogyny, but also disinformation. It'd be different if Kamala Harris lost on things that were true. We were just talking about the massive disinformation campaign that Elon Musk and Russia used. But Victor, I think part of it is why. And it's not just your age group, but why are people so what's the word, susceptible to believing these lies?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. I mean, you're exactly right on sort of it's all dependent on where people consume their information. There was this one graphic that I saw at post-election. I don't know which news source put it out, but it looked at who people voted for and which type of information they consumed. And when you look at younger audiences, who voted for Trump, they consume their information through YouTube and through these podcasts. And then the older you got, it was more newspaper and more cable TV, and they tended to vote more for Democrats. So that was really interesting to see. But to your point about why people are so susceptible, I think it's a fundamental sort of shift in our culture away from things like civics, and we don't have information or media literacy. I mean, those are all very long-term solutions, I think, to this really immediate problem. But, states are doing a really bad job at teaching civics and how to consume information. I think that we have to start building that up, whatever that looks like, on the state level going forward.
Yeah. It's interesting because you're an educated guy. Obviously, you graduated from the wrong university, UCLA.
Yes.
No, that's the right
about
one.
it all
That's
the
what Thom
time.
graduated
I say
from,
as
so
a
it's
USC
okay.
grad. But my point is, Victor, that, again, I know we deal with this whole liberals, elites, and they're talking down to people. I mean, to me, it's not even necessarily education, because some of the smartest people I know didn't go to college. I'm not.
Totally.
It's just critical thinking skills.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's.
Yep.
We were talking about the student college protesters.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
of course in record time they're all saying, "Oh my God, what did we vote for?" And "Oh, we got played by Trump." And I'm like, no, not if you listen to anything he ever said. You knew that he would be a disastrous choice for Palestinians.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, there was a whole. I was stunned by. After the election, there was this image where it showed all the Google searches, and one of the things that spiked after the election was, "Who is president? Is Biden still president? Or can I change my vote?"
Did he drop out? Did Biden drop out?
Did Biden drop out? Right. I mean, it's things like that where, and it just speaks to. I mean, the ways that people consume information are so different.
Dana, one of the things we've been discussing is the horrors of sharing bathrooms in radio with various Republicans.
Yes.
Larry Elder, who seemed obsessed with Chris's junk.
He was.
Just saying, right-wing radio hosts take incredibly stinky poops. I'm just saying there's a lot of horrors foisted on people in bathrooms by Republicans.
There's and I can't remember what airport it is. I bet someone listening does. There's a gender-neutral bathroom, and it's not like a single-stall bathroom. It's a gender-neutral, large gender-neutral bathroom.
Right.
And a lot of people walk in and don't realize it. It's fine. I was shocked but not surprised at how many men walked out of the stall and walked right out without washing their hands.
Ew.
I'm like, it's just gross.
Ew.
It's just gross. Stop being gross, boys.
And,
Stop
well,
being gross.
Yeah, and speaking of airports, we all know that you're not born gay. Minneapolis Airport makes you gay. If you asked.
It does.
Yeah, Larry.
Maybe it was Minneapolis.
I was
It might have
completely
actually been
straight.
Minneapolis Airport.
Yeah, the first time I went to Minneapolis, I was completely straight, Chris. I hit the ground and I was like, wow, I am famished. I need a buffet. Is there one near here that is reasonable?
Well,
Also, you all. Oh, go ahead, Chris.
No, I was just going to say when we were in Kansas City, that was the very first all gender restroom that I'd ever been in was at the Kansas City airport.
Yeah.
It was a big restroom with nothing but stalls and men and women walking about looking for open stalls.
Yeah.
I've been working with the Human Rights Campaign since 2009. It's been 15 years. We have gender-neutral restrooms. They're not single stall. There are urinals with the stalls. People walk in, go to the bathroom, wash their hands, talk to each other, compliment each other's tuxes and dresses and shoes. And often men are wearing dresses and women are wearing suits.
Are you saying
and
most
the non-binary and trans people are wearing whatever they'd like as well? It's just ridiculous.
Are you saying most people just go to the bathroom because they got to go and then they need to go do
we just
something to get
actually
on
have
with
to
their
pee.
life?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
I've never seen anyone else's junk in a bathroom.
Okay. What did Larry Elder ask you? Do you pee like that?
Do you really pee like that?
And you're like, what? Where I stand here and the urine comes out of my yes,
yes, Larry, I do.
That's usually how that
was the weirdest thing.
Okay, that's weird. Okay, Republicans are weirdly obsessed with people's junk. Could I have my Russian music, please? A spokeswoman for Russia's foreign ministry was abruptly silenced during a live press briefing by an unexpected phone call about because there was reports of a missile strike on Ukraine. Masha, the voice said. The ballistic missile strike the Westerns are talking about, we're not commenting at all. I guess she was on speakerphone? Don't end up like clumsy ballet dancer. Shush. Niet. Shush.
Yeah, nothing like a very coordinated person just falling out of a fifth-story window.
Right. Exactly. So we've been talking all morning, Dana, to all our guests about. Can anybody say what they think is going to happen? Because there's this latest story, I think it's Washington Post. Trump and his transition team have begun what's being described as a hostile takeover of the federal government from Mar-a-Lago, skirting many traditional rules meant to facilitate the transfer of power. They have almost fully cut out the government agency his predecessors have relied on to take charge of the federal government. They've been engaging in calls with foreign heads of state without the State Department, its secure lines, its official interpreters. Trump has relied on, they're doing these private firms instead of the FBI to vet people. They were talking about the recess appointment process could help pave the way to get these completely unqualified, ridiculous picks in. I mean, I think there's nobody now, legal expert, anybody that can say what's going to happen.
With you. Nope, I don't think any of us know. I think we can imagine. I think from the first, the 4 years that he was in the White House, we've seen what he's capable of with guardrails. No one can predict what's about to happen after January 20th.
If we do have a Matt Gaetz hearing, I look forward to Lindsey Graham's performance because he said, I fear the process surrounding the Gaetz nomination is turning into an angry mob and unverified allegations are being treated as if they're true. I've seen this movie before. Oh, is he going to get ready to give his Lady Macbeth level performance like he did in the Kavanaugh hearings? On the fainting couch.
It's his Crucible audition.
Yes.
It's his Crucible audition when he stands up and he goes, I have never. And you're right. All right, Leslie Jordan, sit down. Like, that's basically what we're going to see again. When he stood up in the Senate, it was like, I have never.
You do like a dramatic and a comedic